Hello. Should matter. I'm still setting things up. Why is this happening? Oh my god. I thought I'm good on time, but then a certain plugin on my freaking browser made a mess. Japanese after reactions and after that place on Bleach. Okay. This is the pinned comment for Twitch. Okay. There we go. Now I can close this. I also can close this. You can already see it. There's a pinned comment in YouTube as well. Because after we react, as always, we will learn some Japanese. And oh yeah, right, you can still see this one. I wanted to check the updates because I got a notification that there's another update for this app, but I have no clue what the update is. So yeah, I will do this later. Oh my god, things got so messy at the end. But yeah, today we will react to our fears, and after that we will learn some Japanese. And on YouTube, after that, we will switch to another stream. I will schedule one after this, well, right at the end, where we will play some Bleach. This is a separated stream then. Like I will just make a new one. If there's enough time. I don't know if there will be enough time, but I want to play maybe for an hour or something like that, or 2 hours, some Bleach already. You know, we wanna get our Sambakuto. And then on Twitch, everything will be in the same stream, because on Twitch you just have to change. But on YouTube I wanna separate the reaction stream from the gaming stream. So yeah. I just made a new thumbnail for tomorrow as well. Yeah. So yeah, because we have to think of new names, because obviously the Sanpakuto, we will get it at the beginning of the Bleach story. So I cannot stream for 1 or 2 hours and then be like, oh, by the way, now we will get our Sanpakuto tomorrow, you know. So yeah. We will basically move forward the Bleach stream from tomorrow to later, and then tomorrow we will have a different name for the stream, and Sunday everything will be normal. Or maybe we will move Sunday forward as well, and then on Sunday we will have a different title. We will see how it will go. But yeah, this is definitely not one of my fears, the Bleach game. This is one of my favorites, probably, since, well, the Bleach series, you know, it's my favorite series of anime. So, oh, but there's one fear I have. It's when my neighbor can hear me. So I'm gonna go really quickly and close the door. Yeah, and after this we will react to the first video. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Well, okay, my fear is gone now. My neighbors can no longer hear me when I'm screaming and when I don't know. But yeah, I don't have so many fears, as you might know. Every time we play a horror game, in the beginning we start escaping, but then, like, the longer the game goes, the less respect I get for the NPC killer. I start trolling the killer and doing silly stuff. Like running after him. Like, usually, you know, it's a horror game. It's supposed to be the opposite way around. But we start running after the killer, or we, I don't know, we intentionally get chased by him by, you know, throwing things at them or stuff like that. So yeah, we don't have so many fears, but we will see what's going on. Oh wait, those videos are long. They are long. We're gonna sit here for at least 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, all of the videos, as always, are linked in the description of the YouTube description, and they're all from the same channel. I check a little bit in the beginning, well, like 10 minutes ago. And it seems to be like a series. I think I did this intentionally, I'm not sure. But yeah, they're all from Jakob Geller, so feel free to check him out. And we will start with the fear of dark, and then the fear of depths, and the fear of cold. So yeah, I think this will be interesting documentary series. So let's get right into it. I really want to play Bleach, to be honest. So I will try to not pause too many times, as per usual. Let's not make this a 5-hour stream. Okay, let's go.
Our brains don't want us to experience total darkness.
Really? Every time after after I finish work or gaming or the stream, I turn off all the lights and I walk in the darkness to my bed. And it's not like it's next to me. It's... How far is it? Like 10 meters away? 15 meters away? Something like that. It's not... And I have to go around corners as well. Like I just walk in the darkness. I cannot agree with that. But I'm not normal, as you can see. I'm a dragon.
I don't mean this in a poetic, metaphorical way. I mean literally.
Well, it depends. I mean, if I would be for hours in darkness, I just go to sleep, but I don't know if I want to wake up in darkness again.
There are very few places in nature where it's even possible to blot out all illumination. Outside, even a moonless, overcast night.
Yeah. Did you ever walk at night? I had one situation. Did I ever talk about that? I don't know. There was one situation where I missed my last bus, my really last bus. Well, no. Well, yes, as well. This happened as well. I lost my last bus and then I walked home for like 2 or 3 hours. Oh boy. That was a trip. But there was another time where I took the wrong bus and I was, how many was it? Like about 15 kilometers away from my home. And I didn't have any Wi-Fi. And it was about 8 p.m. So it was already getting dark. And I walked in the night through forests over multiple mountains back. This was quite a trip. I only navigated myself with my flashlight, or the phone flashlight, and oriented myself with signs. Oh boy, this was something. Like, yeah, I kind of remembered from where the bus came, which direction, and I tried to navigate with the moon, where the moon was, how to get back. And at some point I started seeing signs, so then it was a little bit easier. But yeah, this was quite a trip. This took quite some time. Like, I think those 15 kilometers in total darkness, 2 forests as well. I think it took like 4 hours or 3 hours, something like that, to get back. It was a long trip. Especially because sometimes I notice, oh damn, this is not the right way, and then I walk back like a kilometer, and yeah, this was a long trip. But what I wanted to say was, it's amazing how much light you get from the moon. Actually, like after a while, even without the flashlight, because my battery was running low, I think I started on like 30 or 40% of battery of my phone. So I try to save energy. But yeah, it's amazing how much light you get. Like, especially in the beginning. No, actually no. The later it got, the more I was able to see through the moon, because it was like shining from above. into the forest, you know. Luckily it was winter, so there were not so many leaves on the trees. But yeah, it was crazy. Like I was just walking in the darkness without light, and yeah, this was quite an experience, especially because I knew there were animals in the forest, and I heard them as well. Sometimes I heard them moving or running, and I was like, oh my goodness, hopefully I will not get attacked in here. Because I don't want to kill any animal in this forest. So yeah, this was some crazy experience. Okay, anyway, yeah, basically TLDR, the moon is really bright.
Shut out the light of the stars. But say you're determined, dead set on escaping the glow of our world.
Yeah.
You could head underground.
Yeah, let's go back to caveman.
The truest sense, a blackness unsullied by the least bit of natural light. Even then, alone in a cave without a moon or sun or flashlight, your brain will fight against.
Really? But how? Oh, that's probably what he will explain.
Humans start to hallucinate. You don't have to have a history of seeing things. Fully
really?
Self-aware, otherwise lucid people will swiftly and dramatically start to hallucinate in true darkness.
Hallucinate like seeing things or hearing things? That will be my main concern. Probably both. Maybe a mix of both.
In 2004, researchers in Massachusetts blindfolded 13 participants for 96 straight hours.
Damn.
And yet, the participants saw many things. Flashing lights, a rotating skull, illuminated trails following their arms. One woman said she saw a splotch of light, quote, in the exact form of Elvis Presley.
Damn, that's a cool performance to get. Can I get this performance? I want a performance from Elvis Presley who is shining on me.
Another woman sensed that she was standing in front of a mirror and was terrified by the sudden appearance of a green face with big eyes.
Those Americans, something must be in their food. Something must be in their food, I'm just saying.
A man said he saw full landscapes, trees, pebbles, running water.
How?
All in the absence of any light at all.
Were they walking in the room, or were they like laying down and like they were not? It was not possible to move. Like what happened?
In 2007, the German artist Marietta Schwartz blindfolded herself for over 3 weeks.
Damn.
Scientists monitored her over this period.
Doesn't you get damaged? Doesn't it damage your eyes actually if you do something like that?
During which she witnessed hallucinations as simple as leopard print and as complex as the opening credits to Star Trek.
What the heck?
Scans of her brain indicated that she was not simply imagining these things, but actually seeing them. The hallucinations activating the same visual processing centers of her mind that she would use to see real leopard print or the actual opening credits to Star Trek.
Can I see the Bleach series again like that?
These experiences happened within
this is crazy
laboratory environments. But over the course of human history and art, many more people have confined themselves to a much more isolated form of darkness. They too experienced their minds fight against the absence that confronted them. All of us, willingly or not, confront the dark every day. It is the bedrock of the universe, an absolute inevitability, a required element of life and death and rest and time, and yet we refuse.
I wonder is how does it affect the feeling of time, especially while you are hallucinating? Is the time for you going faster while you do that, or is it going slower, or is it like as usual?
We perceive the dark. Rather than sit within total absence, our brains spin imagined stimuli out into the void. After all, how could there truly be nothing there? Over the years, I've talked about the depths of the earth, the stillness of the cold, the unknowable reaches of her oceans.
That's the next videos we are watching. Maybe I should have put the other videos before. But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched any of those. Maybe I should have checked the dates on them before putting them in. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the issue or the problem, however you wanna call it, when you don't watch the videos before. You don't know what they say.
Each of these
generations reactions have to be genuine.
That
so
black, that abyss,
yeah,
that place we cannot see is not merely a fear, it is the fear.
Really?
The place from which all others are born. I had a dream, which was not all a dream.
Oh.
The bright sun
was extinguished, and the stars did wander darkling in the eternal space.
This will happen at some point, like in a couple trillion years.
In November of
probably not even trillion,
a woman
like
named
billion years.
descended into a cave in the south of Spain. Her intention was to remain underground and isolated longer than any human in history. She almost did it.
She almost?
Flamini is notable in her submission to the dark because of her general enthusiasm for the whole process. Despite helpers bringing her food and supplies, she specifically chose not to directly communicate with the outside world. No talking with others, no updates on current events. She would have a couple
days in a cave.
battery-powered lights, but no clock or externally updated calendar.
Wait, but did she had lights? Or did she try to, like, you know, make fire underground? Which could also be dangerous, you know? Because underground your oxygen is limited. So making a fire will exhaust this oxygen really fast. Just saying.
She would not see another human face for 500 days.
She was there for almost 2 years?
Because she didn't bring a mirror, she would not even see her own. She was, however, provided with a pair of GoPros. She would use these to record the whole experience.
But how does she charge them?
Remember these. Her fixations on dark and isolation and disconnection are unusual, but not wholly unique. The man she was attempting to take the record from was named Milutin Vjokovic. He was a Serbian scientist who spent 464 days in a row inside a cave. Vjokovic had a radio through which he could talk to people outside, but that communication did not spare him the effects of the dark. He hallucinates. His hair grows long and ragged.
Yeah.
He pulls out his own teeth.
I hate something like that. Okay, yeah, that's definitely this. I wouldn't call it a fear, but it's. I don't like when, you know, there are little bones. I hate when little bones are like breaking or falling off.
In 1962, he ventured into a
that.
cave for 2 months straight. A decade later, he returned to the dark for another 6. He found that his perception of time inevitably warped. Weeks after he entered the cave, he tried to mentally time 2 minutes, and it took him 5. Occasionally, he stayed awake for 36 hours in a row, though he didn't know it. When he was retrieved from the cave, he was surprised. Why are they pulling him out? Isn't he only halfway through? My psychological time had compressed by a factor of 2. When Flamini emerged from the cave in 20
Okay, so the time goes faster for you. That's interesting. That's really interesting. That the time goes faster. I would have guessed, personally, that it would go slower because you don't have so much to do, you know?
23, after a year and a half of residence, she seemed thrilled with her time. She told writer D.T. Max that her stay was excellent, unbeatable. She took a series of medical exams and all her vitals were normal.
Damn.
Her attitude seemed almost unbelievable. She hadn't been affected at all by her year in the dark.
Really?
But the GoPros tell another story. The first thing they document is her loss of time. On day 38 of the experiment, she says to the camera, "I'm convinced that if I get past day 30, it's a done deal." Then the auditory phantoms enter the picture. She begins to hear things, or more specifically, she begins to hear a thing.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I don't know if I would be comfortable if I hear a thing in complete darkness. Yeah, no. No. I don't know. Like, in a game? Sure. Like, I'm not scared of games, but if it happens to me, I would be freaked out, probably. Yeah.
This is not paranoia. This is not hallucinations, she whispers to her GoPros. If it's an animal, it's a big animal.
Okay.
She was always alone in
It's Bigfoot. I knew it.
the cave. To enter, one had to rappel down a 200-foot
I'm sorry.
drop, but she was convinced there was something there with her.
What is living 200 foot
300
down?
days in, Flamini
And
breaks.
like bats, right? Bats? What else is... Wait, actually, what animals are living in caves? There are bats. Bats. Maybe snakes? What else could be in the darkness? Yeah, like, I mean, small animals like ants or like bugs, sure. But big animals, snakes, I could imagine. Bats. I think that's it. What else could be in a cave? Except for bugs and snakes and bats. Mole divers are not in caves. They're living because it's too hard. You know, they cannot dig through what's the name? To stone or stone-ish material, hard material. I don't know. So what could be there? Snakes, bats, bugs. I mean, snails and things like that. Maybe like small, really small animals. I could imagine. Is there an animal? Fishes. If there's like a small lake. Maybe, yeah, fishes. Fish? What? No, it's fish. It's not fishes. It's fish. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I think that's about it. Or am I the stupid one? And am I not having enough imagination about animals? Is there an animal that eats stone? Probably not. Except, yeah, unless you count bacteria to an animal, of course. But I think that's it. Nah. That's... Or am I stupid? I'm trying to think, but I cannot think of anything else except for snakes and bats and like bugs or snails maybe. Wait, technically, do bears count in this? No, they are just living there. They are not hunting there. You know, they are not permanently there. They are there because it's protection. So yeah, I think that's the only animals.
She claims the router researchers had placed in the cave says that it's sending out sonic waves that are giving her nosebleeds. She climbs out of the cave but stays confined to her tent at the entrance. Assistants replace the router.
What?
She goes back in. And the more she talks about the dark, the more her initial report, excellent, unbeatable, seems like an attempt to rationalize, maybe even repress her true experience.
But maybe she realized at some point that those things are not real.
She later admits, I didn't exactly lose consciousness, but the darkness saps you of life. The solitude, the social uprooting, it consumes you. You eat, you down nutrients, but you consume yourself. Because of Flamini's brief exodus from the cave, she fails her record attempt. Vjokovich's 464-day stay in the 60s still bests her.
Should I do the new record? I will stay there for 2 years.
How much importance she puts on the exact amount of time she spent in the dark.
Nah, that's too much time.
The other scientists, they monitored how long she was down there. But Flamini experienced something different.
What?
A while ago I was born. A while ago I was going to visit Mongolia. There is no past, there is no future. Everything is present, everything is a while ago, and it's all brutal and strange.
Sounds like he or she met Gojo.
Michel Cifre was more blunt about his time
Satoru, is this you?
The terrifying sensation of infinite space. He wrote, "I now understand why in their myths people have always situated hell underground."
Oh,
and this is the language of the people most eager to explore the dark. Here's an obnoxious question.
I wonder what happens to people who usually would not like to go there. Will they experience something different? Will they become familiar with it? Will they like it actually at some point?
Can you see the dark? Well, is water wet? Can you see the dark? Say I have a room in my house without illumination. The door is open, but no light can make it past the threshold.
Oh, damn.
Are we seeing darkness in that room? Or would it be more accurately described as an absence of perception?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it seeing.
Not one that would meaningfully change your experience of the dark. Semantical
Not necessarily, I don't know.
Contend with lizard brain fear instincts. But can you see the dark is a revealing question because it breaks down all the abstract language we so often use to talk about it into a single base anxiety. Here's how I would describe the fear of dark once you suck all the poeticism out of it.
Okay.
Either there is nothing there, or there is something there.
50-50.
That's it. That's all there is. Either the dark conceals something, or the dark reveals nothing.
Yeah, this makes sense.
As a kid, I'd occasionally punish myself by reading some of the most frightening works of American literature ever published. These scary stories to tell in the dark book series.
Oh,
they
this looks interesting.
Most remembered for their illustrations by Stephen Gomel, inky works of absolute cruelty that elevated otherwise pretty benign spooky stories. But there was one notable exception. On page 45 of More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz, there's a story called The Voice.
The Voice.
It is 114 words long. I'm now going to read it to you in its entirety.
We're gonna read a book. I cannot believe it.
Ellen had just fallen asleep when she heard a strange voice.
Yeah.
Ellen, it whispered, I am coming up the stairs.
Come up.
Now I am on the first step.
Come in.
Now I'm on the second
Come
step.
up.
Ellen got scared and called her parents, but they didn't hear her and they didn't come. Then the voice whispered, Ellen, I'm on the top step.
Come in. Come in.
Now I'm outside your room.
Nice. Come in.
It whispered, I'm standing right next to your bed.
Nice. Join me then.
I've got you! Ellen screamed and the voice stopped. Her father rushed into the room and turned on the light. Somebody is in here, Ellen said. They looked and looked. Nobody was there. This story ruined my goddamn life.
What? Why?
I was particularly susceptible, I guess. My childhood bedroom was immediately at the top of a flight of stairs. I didn't close my door at night for some reason. And so instead, I would lay in bed and stare down the flight of stairs.
Oh damn! Yeah, okay. If you live there, then it's basic. If you if the layout is similar, it's different. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Understandable.
At the bottom, and I would think about the two options. There's nothing there, or there is something there.
Probably
This anxiety
the
is
first.
leveraged throughout horror media. Most relevant to our previous discussion of Flamini and the Underground is Neil Marshall's 2005 classic The Descent,
This
a
is
film that lets
Descent.
the audience
I haven't
stew
watched that
in the
one.
stress of its claustrophobic
Shall we watch it together?
subterranean darkness for nearly an hour before revealing its cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. The
Oh,
composition of these before
never mind. We
scenes
just got
is
spoiled.
wonderfully minimal. Often, nearly the entire frame is left black. A single headlamp may provide some light.
But this is
only
an
enough to
interesting
highlight the
concept for a
surrounding
movie.
dark. Many scenes
Leaving
are
everyone in the
formed their
darkness.
physical space, like this
You only
skin
see
crawling
what they
pushed through a
see,
tunnel.
basically.
And yet, the film's refusal to further light the frame simultaneously abstracts the space. Everything outside the confines of this tunnel exists only as a void, an amorphous threat always on the verge
But that's
of
like,
swallowing
I like the
character's
concept.
whole. The Descent does have an easy escape for the viewer, though. For as tense as it is, we can reassure ourselves, never in a million years would I put myself in that position.
Okay.
That reassurance ceases to work when darkness envelops the domestic. This is why I couldn't shake Schwartz's The Voice. This is still where my most visceral fears manifest.
Really?
Gerald's Game is a
I don't know
fairly
what
modern
my
Stephen
fear is,
King
to be
book that
honest.
happens to contain
I mean, I don't know what my fears. Like, from the normal fear, I would say there are normal fears. Like, I don't know, like, but I wouldn't call it fears. I would call it being worried, not fears. You know, the typical things. But like fearing something, I don't think I fear anything at the moment. Yeah.
one of the most electrifyingly scary scenes he's ever put to paper.
Gerald's
The
Game.
book centers on Jessie, a woman left handcuffed to her bed after her husband unexpectedly dies whilst
Oh, I watched that with a
preparing
friend of
for
mine.
coitus. Unable to escape the cuffs or leave the bed, Jessie is left alone in a cabin, too remote to call for help. As the book
Yes.
goes on, she flickers in and out of reality, mixing her present predicament with her life's previous traumas. And then she meets someone else.
Yeah.
She passes out in the evening and wakes in the middle of the night, her arms stiff, her muscles cramping after hours of being
You have to
handcuffed.
stretch.
She starts to talk to herself. How long can she go without food? How long can she go without water? And then
She has to stretch.
her eyes, which had been wandering aimlessly across the darkened room, locked on the far corner, where the wind-driven shadows of the pines danced wildly in the nacreous light falling through the skylight. There was a man standing there.
Oh, damn.
Terror greater than any she
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I have those imaginations as well, you know. You see something, like, in the corner of your eye, you see someone standing, or you see something. But I have an easy solution to that. I just go there. I told you, I'm not normal. When I see a man standing in the darkness, I go there. I go there. Because I know, deep inside, I know it's not real. So I just go there. Then there's nothing. No, nothing happens. Yeah, the ghosts are, if there are any ghosts, they are probably more scared of me than I am of them. Because I go there. I go to them. And if they are there, well, they're gonna get punched. I'm gonna get a kick with my tail. A swing with my tail? It sounds wrong, but yeah. They are the ones who are gonna get hurt.
she had ever known crept over her. Her terror had blown her mind temporarily clean from wall to wall and ceiling to floor. No sound escaped her, not even the smallest squeak. She was as incapable of sound as she was of thought.
That's from the movie.
Didn't even come close to it.
The
That
text.
mental emptiness and the total
Is this
physical
is
incapacity
this a book,
that
or why is
accompanied
that
it were worse
such text? I don't remember
blackout.
that.
When thought did attempt to return, it was at first blocked by a dark, featureless wall of fear.
Yeah.
A man in the corner.
Yeah, nice. Say hello.
It's absurd how many of my own childhood anxieties manifested as little more complicated than a man standing in the corner at night. A coat over a chair, a shadow across a bookshelf, a creak of the floorboards, all would near immediately become that most horrifying of apparitions, a man.
A man.
In the corner.
Would you go into the forest with the bear or the man?
Out of it.
I'm sorry.
Crazy.
I'm sorry, I have to make jokes. I want to make this a bit more easygoing, you know?
But she doesn't believe her own rationalizations. She can feel him. Slow waves of malevolence emanating from
malevolence. I cannot pronounce that word.
Anatomy, an indie game I've spoken about at length before, manifests this same anxiety. The player, after wandering around a cold, dark house, finds themselves trapped in the bedroom.
I played that! I played it on this channel as well, but it's probably not online anymore. I made a let's play. It was before I was VTubing. Oh god. Maybe I should have left it online. I had some cool videos. You could have... But it's in German. It would have been in German. Yeah. Yeah.
It is here in the bedroom that we are at our most vulnerable.
Oh, this is a different game. I don't remember a tape. I don't remember a tape. Maybe it's a different game. I played a different game then. Okay, never mind. But it looks really similar. But I don't remember like a record tape thing.
It is here that the house is most likely to betray us.
What? The house?
There is a unique menace that a room can hold in the dark, particularly when suddenly awoken into it. The ordinary turned uneasy, familiar corners now posing a single dreadful question. Is there nothing there?
Maybe I am really the abnormal one. Oh, not you again. I banned so many of you. Why do you keep coming back? I cannot believe this. Shut the matter. I have to go to Twitch really quick. I have to ban this guy. Why do they keep coming back? I cannot believe this. You shall be banned. No, I pinned him. God dang it. I wanted to kick this guy. Shut the matter. Maybe if I click the name. Ah, yeah, okay. Be gone. Bye bye. He's gone now. Hopefully he doesn't come back. Okay, where's the stream? There.
Or is there something there? It's the same.
It's me.
I'm embarrassed to even admit
the one who walked into the darkness.
Looking out windows at night, my body tenses up at the idea that the nothing outside could suddenly hold something.
No.
A man standing in the corner. In Ian Reid's book,
I don't have the fear of the dark, surprisingly. I don't have any of that. Maybe one of the other ones, let's see. Or maybe he will give something where I'm like, okay, never mind. But let's see. Are we facing our fears today? Tonight? Who knows?
Looked out her window and realized someone was standing outside. A tall man, so tall in fact
Slender Man
was above the top of the window. But despite this, she is sure he can see her. In Anatomy, the narrator analogizes windows as the eyes of a house, says it's hard to shake the feeling of being watched when encountering the lightless windows of a tall, dark manor. They describe the windows as eyes, as gazing out at their surroundings, but at night, when I'm alone, I can't help but feel that they've turned inward, that it is now the dark that watches me through each window.
Ooh.
The protagonist of I'm Thinking of Ending Things
that sounded really, really nice.
For a long time, maybe an hour.
A little bit ominous, but nice.
Subtly, he waves.
He waves. Says hello. Wave back.
It had an effect of malice, as if he were suggesting I could never be completely on my own, that he would be around, that he would be back.
That's fine.
I thought it would reoccur, that he would appear again, watching, but it didn't. Not at my window, anyhow.
Oh.
But I always felt like the man was there. The man is always there.
The man. Why not a woman?
Gerald's game, Jessie continues
Why
to
not a
stare at the
woman?
shadows in the corner forming the shape of a man. Her mind untethers. Things especially
Could be a
change
furry
in the
as
dark
well.
when a
You have to
person
beat
is
those.
alone.
No, I'm
Who
sorry.
knows what some men and women have
I'm
seen
sorry.
in the hour of their solitary deaths. Is it so hard to believe that some of them may have died of fear, no matter what the words on the death certificates
Oh,
say?
I think I
The shadow doesn't
told
speak,
you this story
but it
before.
leans
I watched
forward
once a
to point
documentary
out
about someone. He was so feared that he died. What was it? It was with a lion. There was like a documentary that I watched where they mentioned that like there was like a man and he was going home, like he was in Africa somewhere, and then he was going home, but he didn't make it in time. And then suddenly he saw a lion and he ran away. He ran and ran and ran, and he was hiding somewhere, and he was imagining that the lion was still there, and his heart rate went up so much that he just died. Just like that, because he was feared of the lion, even though he was not there. It's crazy.
of deniability, it smiles. And something in Jessie's mind.
And
makes
it's my
her sick.
bag.
Some part of her brain senses that this dark is too deep, that any more time here will somehow break her irreversibly. A
What?
piece of her starts running for these circuit breakers in her head, racing against the panels of her psyche that have begun to smoke. That small piece of her mind throws the breaker because fear-induced unconsciousness is preferable to even one more second in that room with that man in the corner.
Why? Just
There
say
was an
hi to him.
intolerably bright flash inside her head.
Maybe he's nice.
The lights went out.
Oh.
The largest blackout in history happened on the 31st
What is
of
that?
July, 2020.
This looks like a storage. This looks more like a storage. Not like a house, even though there are a lot of paintings hanging.
It doubled the previous record.
Is this
which
a
just
green
happened to have been
screen?
set the
I'm not
day
sure. This
before.
looks really cool. No, it's
At about
not.
2:30 a.m. on July 30th,
Damn.
an electrical line in India running from Bina to Gwalior tripped off. The
Yeah.
line's failure immediately cascaded across northern India's grid. Plants in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Delhi, Uttarakhand, Jammu, Kashmir.
There's a lot of a lot of regions.
In total, 300 million people lost power. Trains
Okay.
stopped on their tracks. Water treatment plants ceased functioning. Hospitals went dark. For most, the outage lasted less than a day. 80% had power back by that evening. Well, they did for almost 12 hours. On July 31st, a similar sequence of failures occurred, except this time it didn't stay confined to the northern power grid. Weakened from the previous day, the extreme load pulled down the northeastern and eastern grids as well, plunging literally 670 million people into darkness. That is, if you need further context, twice
what
the
happened?
current population of
What
the
happened?
United States. Infrastructure ground to a halt once again. Trains, hospitals, water, all kaput. In a true nightmare scenario, 200 workers were trapped in a coal mine in West Bengal. Their elevator to the surface suddenly
Oh
non-functional.
damn.
It cannot be overstated how much
Red is
the
stuck
advent
in
of
the
electrical
elevator?
pain
This would
has
be so
changed our
messed up.
functioning as humans. Our
There probably were people stuck in the elevator. Oh my god. Imagine being stuck in an elevator for so long. If you don't know how to escape an elevator, that's... There will be chaos. And also the air. Yeah, there's limited air in the elevator as well. But usually, I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of people who know how an elevator works. That, you know, you can punch the top of the elevator out and then you can take like... There are like ladders there that you can take. But I don't know. I don't know about India though. Or a mine shaft elevator.
of sleep,
Probably
formerly
different.
segmented into multiple shorter periods, has been artificially stitched into one extended rest. We've
So doesn't miners have flashlights with them?
used our ability to define the night as an opportunity to redefine ourselves. We are no longer creatures built in parallel to the rising and setting sun. The lights only go out when we choose.
That's right.
But it's an
That's right.
impermanent change. Take away electricity, return a human to a day defined only by the sun and the moon, and their sleep will return to a pre-industrial schedule, 2 shorter sleeps separated by hours of gentle wakefulness. It is alarming how thin the line is between self-definition and submission to the schedule of the solar system.
Crazy.
In India in 2012, 500 million people suddenly returned to a dark beyond their choosing. It is one overloaded line and an interconnected series of power plants. In 2014, the Wall
Yeah, but
Street
what
Journal
happened?
reported on a leaked
I thought
report
there's more context now to the people. You're gonna tell us a crazy story, but he's just saying that the energy went off. Like, what happened to the people? Like, did it change something to them? Or whether it's just like, oh, okay, the power is out, let's, I don't know, try to manage, and then later it's back, and then they're going back to normal. I don't know.
The U.S. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. The report detailed the vulnerabilities of the country's electrical system. Namely, even though the U.S. has more than 55,000 electric transmission substations, a coordinated attack on just 9 of them could cause a coast-to-coast blackout. It
Oh
would,
my
quote,
God.
plunge the country into darkness for weeks, if not months.
Really?
This exact situation is unlikely.
Those terrorists must be really stupid. They should have just done something like that. Cut off the electricity of the people, and then you can do what you want. Just saying, you know. Not giving advice to terrorists, just, you know, those people must be really stupid. If I would be a terrorist, I would do something like that, and then, you know, you can do what you want. Just saying. Just saying. It's not an advice, it's just, like, calling them stupid. Oi, stupid.
Still classified, but not impossible. 2 years ago, only about an hour from where I currently live, someone fired about 100 rounds into a couple substations in Moore County, North Carolina.
What?
The attack took about 20 minutes and killed power for more than 40,000 people in sub-freezing temperatures. In 2013, a similar attack caused 15 million...
Well, okay, never mind. It seems like they already do things like that. It seems like they already do things like that. Okay.
...dollars of damage in Coyote, California, though without a significant loss of power. In both cases, the perpetrators have not been found.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find people like that.
3 different neo-Nazi groups have been arrested after attempting to attack the US's...
Why does that always have to be freaking Germany? Oh my god. You know, sometimes I want to feel proud of Germany because I'm living here, you know. But then you have people like that.
Power grid and cripple the country's
idiots.
Infrastructure.
Idiots.
But despite its fragility, it's easy to take that grid for granted when you consider how staggeringly wide we've spread the light.
Oh.
The darkness of the sky is measured on something called the Bortle scale. It goes from 1 to 9, and the higher the scale, the more light pollution you're experiencing, and thus the less able you are to see celestial bodies. Where I currently live is a Bortle 8 to 9, that is to say, very bright. And I can see some stuff. I can see the moon and planets and Orion occasionally. With a 20-minute drive, I could get to a Bortle 4, which reveals much more of the Milky Way. Striving for true darkness, though, is exceptionally difficult. Dark Sky International lists only 9 dark sky sanctuaries and a couple dozen dark sky preserves within the United States. I have, in fact, been to one. Craters of the Moon.
Yeah, okay. I will let him talk. Let's see what he will say.
1,000 square miles of land, several hundred of which are covered by the gnarled remains of what was fairly recently fresh lava. It is truly an unearthly landscape covered by jagged rocks, ash-black hills, and massive hollow tubes under the ground that once contained flowing magma. It is also classified as a Bortle scale 2. It is very, very dark. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Not totally. Even there, in the middle of this lava field, many, many miles from any major cities, I could still see the faint glow of the horizon. I have to admit, it was kind of crushing.
Yeah. Where was it? Was it New Mexico, where you have like nothing nearby for a long time, a long while? And it's a little bit sad as well, because if you look up the sky in a city, you don't see anything. You see airplanes on the freaking sky. And you go out a little bit outside the city, you can see so many stars, but when you are like in total darkness, you can see the Milky Way. You can see, it looks so beautiful. And it's it's a little bit sad that you cannot really see those things anymore because light pollution. Yeah, it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit sad.
This was supposed to be the best of the best, and still not true dark. To really achieve the void I want, the only option...
Oh, he wants to go dark. Oh, I thought he wants to see, like, he's talking about the night sky.
300 miles from the coast, the curvature of the earth swallows up the countless lights of the land.
Yeah.
To sail out there on a moonless night and turn off all the lights of the boat might give the kind of darkness even craters of the moon couldn't deliver. Not the black of the underground, but that of the universe itself.
But you can see the stars in the Milky Way.
That's always stuck with me, though. Emissions, wastewater, litter, most kinds of pollution stick around.
Yes.
Even if you completely stopped all air or water pollution tomorrow, we'd still be dealing with its current leftovers for millennia.
Yep.
But not light. You turn off all the lights, a power line trips, 9 very specific substances. Yeah, no, he's right. Go down, and the skies return to their primeval darkness at literally the speed that light travels away from Earth.
Yes.
We would instantly be thrown back to the same skies seen by the earliest of our species.
But that's a beautiful sky.
Is never that far away. On January 24th, 1925, a man named Alvin Peterson stood a little bit closer to the darkness than anyone else.
What did he do?
Saturday, millions gathered in a curved arc across the U.S. to watch the moon completely occlude the sun.
Yeah.
It was a solar eclipse, one with a path of totality that started in Minnesota and raced to the Atlantic Ocean, passing directly through the center of New York City. And above New York, on top of an airship over 600 feet long, stood Alvin Peterson. He was the Navy's best aerial photographer and had been assigned a job no one had ever had before. He was to film the total eclipse.
But he cannot look into it,
Peterson
can he?
stood on top of the Zeppelin for over 2 hours, cranking specially treated film through his camera. The temperature never climbed above freezing. Frostbite swiftly spread across his fingers and cheeks, but these externalities paled in comparison to his experience of the dark. John Black writes that at the moment of the eclipse, the world essentially stopped existing for Peterson. The great silver expanse of the airship disappeared beneath his feet. Although he was a mile above the ground, he stopped feeling the vibrations and movement of the craft.
Really?
The entire population of New York watched from below, but Peterson stood alone in the night that had fallen at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Okay.
The film he shot of the eclipse didn't turn out.
Oh no. Is this the film?
Peterson, along with the whole crew of the Zeppelin, was sent up that morning because eclipses are a remarkable opportunity for scientific discovery.
1925.
Scientists used the new infrastructure of the telegraph to measure the speed of the moon's shadow across the Earth, 3,500 miles per hour. 6 years earlier, photographs taken of stars surrounding the sun, visible only during the totality of a solar eclipse, confirmed that they were in the wrong place. That is, the sun was in fact bending light around it. This was a phenomenon suggested by a 40-year-old physicist named Albert Einstein. Following this discovery, the Times published a quiet
the only
piece
one.
called "Revolution in Science: New Theory of the Universe, Newtonian Ideas
The music in the background.
It was, effectively, confirmation of Einstein's theory of general relativity.
Yeah, there are so many confirmations. It's scary. Even today, they are still discovering things or proving things just to say, okay, yeah, it's exactly as Einstein said. It's crazy. Even today.
The fabric of the universe must be fundamentally altered. Minutes of darkness changed our idea of the cosmos forever. Yet somehow, this still isn't my favorite way eclipses have sculpted our view of the world. Human-kept history does not have a consistent calendar. Across thousands of years of civilization, we have not carefully cross-referenced our date-keeping, nor made sure that our scales of time remained consistent. Knowing a precise date from millennia ago is near impossible, even with modern science like carbon dating.
Carbon dating?
Disparate records from the span of all cultures, you'd need some unignorable event that occurred at some immovable point in time. Something like darkness falling in the middle of the day. If humans were sentient and able to record events, they recorded the eclipse. John Dvorak writes, "How do we know that Julius Caesar was born on July 13th, 100 BCE and died on March 15th, 44 BCE, or that Confucius died in 4...
What? Ah, okay. I was like, okay. I was stupid.
479 BCE, or that Buddha died 4 years earlier."
Oh, this is actually a really good comment.
Chronological references found in ancient sources with the precision of astronomical calculations to determine absolute dates, and eclipses are the cornerstones of these calculations.
Are they?
The date of an eclipse, any eclipse within human history, is predictable forwards and backwards. We know when an eclipse will occur 100 years from now, and we also know when one occurred 100 years ago, or 1,000 years ago.
Really?
Or 10,000. It is, in fact, this celestial dark that has illuminated history. From the date of an eclipse, the timing of countless other events can be extrapolated. The light is obscured, but the past is exposed. Furthermore, this style of date tracking reveals even more about the physics of our universe. For instance, in Babylon, on April 15th, 136 BCE, multiple recordings document a total solar eclipse, including the time of the sun's occlusion and the specific planets visible during the dark.
What?
When the date of this eclipse was first calculated in the modern era, scientists were confused. Yes, there was an eclipse on April 15th, 136 BCE, but it should have fallen over Morocco, not Babylon.
What?
What happened? The dark understands more about our planet than we do. What happened is that both the Earth and the Moon are not the same as they were 2,100 years ago.
Yeah.
The Earth, very gradually over time, is lending its momentum to the Moon's orbit.
Yes.
In other words, the Moon is orbiting very slightly faster than when that eclipse fell.
Yeah, and the Moon is, like, did you know, every year the Moon is getting further away from the Earth. It's not much, I think it's a few centimeters, but yeah. Every year.
Earth, in return, is rotating very slightly slower. You put those two calculations into your model, and the trajectory of the dark across the Earth in 136 BCE shifts a few thousand miles. Just enough to blacken the skies of Babylon.
Yes.
We want to make sense of the dark, to see into it and understand it, to shift our knowledge of entire celestial bodies to unravel its obscurity.
Really?
Sometimes we've found what was waiting to be discovered in the dark. sometimes it remains impenetrable.
What zodiac
As I sit
sign
filming this, talking
will
to
I
you,
meet
my
today?
little camera is struggling to
I'm
perceive
sorry.
the dark. Before I started filming, I set the ISO for the video, basically deciding my camera's sensitivity to light.
Yeah,
Normally,
you are
I
going
film
crazy
at
with
the
that though.
lowest ISO I can manage, 200 or below. I set up big lights mere feet from my face to achieve this. I
Okay.
haven't done that today. I'm filming at 51,200 ISO.
What
Doing
the
this
hell?
allows me to sit in much darker darkness while I talk to you. Doing this allows me to sit in much
Oh damn.
darker darkness while I talk to you.
Wait, this means he's in total. No, I can see light in the background.
It also invites something else into the frame. Cameras don't see the dark, not really. There are light-emitting photons in this room and everywhere else. Photons that are hitting the camera's sensor and being turned into digital signals that will eventually resolve into the image that you're seeing now.
Yes.
In a nice light environment with a properly adjusted sensor, those digital signals are translated into a clear, sharp, detailed picture. I'm not in a nice light environment though. I'm here in the dark. My camera is simply not getting enough data to perfectly render this video. Its attempts to make sense of the insufficient data is resulting in something else.
I want to see how dark it actually is for him right now.
Digital noise.
Now I'm
It might
curious.
be assigning too much intentionality to say that, like us, cameras hallucinate in darkness. But the artifacts of the dark that show up on both physical and digital film represent what the camera sees when there is not enough light to truly see. Just like us, they are uneasy in the dark, the ever-present photons assuring the camera that there is a something there while not giving it enough information to tell it.
Oh, damn, it just got way brighter. What's going on there?
Is almost the entire
What
hook
was
of
that?
Kyle Edward Ball's 2022 movie Skinamarink, an impressively
What?
hostile piece of horror filmmaking. Skinamarink takes place within one house in 1995.
Yeah.
Two kids awake to find their parents have disappeared, as have their house's doors and windows.
Okay.
But this narrative isn't really what the movie is about. The camera, often set as high as 100,000 ISO, refuses to focus on the children. Instead, it stares into the dark corners of the house. Shadows on the ceiling, the feeble glow of a nightlight, the black spilling over the top of the stairs. And these shots, which are agonizingly long and still, become about their noise. The camera's inability to penetrate the dark, paired with a heavy layer of VHS static post-processing.
Yeah, those fragments are looking crazy. Going crazy.
In the depths of the house, the viewer and the camera are placed in the same position, staring into nothing, desperately trying to find an image, a pattern, anything in the void. I'm suddenly in my childhood bedroom again, looking down the dark of the stairs, thinking of the two possibilities. There is nothing there. There is something there.
It's Slender Man.
In the film's most terrifying scene,
I'm joking. It's
children
me.
braves the smothering darkness of the second floor and finds her way into her parents' room, where, unexpectedly, her father is actually sitting on the bed.
Oh.
But he doesn't offer any comfort. He doesn't even look at her. Digital noise swims unceasingly around the frame. Eventually, he speaks. Look under the bed. And the camera bends down.
And then he's there.
Dark.
Or not? Oh, okay. Yeah, my predictions are going wrong today.
Book House of Leaves. The book itself, a book called House of Leaves,
I'm sorry, I don't read books.
appears in the narrative.
I'm someone who goes by experience.
Protagonists Will Navidson.
I don't read. I experience. I only read when it's necessary.
House of Leaves is a book about a house that contains an insurmountable amount of dark. Appearing first in Navidson's life as a wall that refuses to be measured, and then as a space-defying hallway, the house eventually grows into an unknowable void, a terrestrial portal to an infinite vacuum.
Interesting.
And the house doesn't just swallow those who literally inhabit it. House of Leaves, as a complete work, documents all the lives that have been somehow consumed by the house's dark, physically, academically, emotionally. But no one is more entangled than Navidson. He is so inextricably pulled to the abyss that he ventures into the house's depths with no expectation or hope of ever leaving it. And at the end of his journey, when there is nowhere else to go and nowhere to return to, he is left in the dark with two things: a book, House of Leaves, and a box of matches. The book is 736 pages long. He tears the first page out and sets it ablaze.
What?
In the
Why?
2021 adventure game Genesis Noir, the protagonist, a man wandering through space and time in a vain attempt to prevent the future,
Oh,
is
that's some
sucked
cool
into a
animation.
black hole. The rest of the game vanishes beyond the event horizon. All he's left with are his memories, represented by a number of items collected over the course of the game. All those and a box of matches. He sits in the dark, striking each and letting them burn down until he's left with a single one match in his collection of memories.
Okay.
After a moment of consideration, he lets the flame consume them all.
Oh, damn!
In the finale of Ralph Ellison's seminal 1952 novel Invisible Man, the protagonist falls through a manhole into a pile of coal dust and is subsequently sealed inside.
By Wolf.
He cannot see, cannot move the manhole cover, cannot feel anything except the presence of the briefcase he's hauled through his entire journey. That and a boundless expanse of dust. It's a kind of death without hanging, he thinks, a death alive. He sleeps, wakes, stumbles through the void, and he finds something.
What did he find?
With 3 matches left. He opens his briefcase, which contains his high school diploma, memoirs of the past, the letters that eventually ended him in this coal bin. Each item, no matter how sentimental or bitter, serves one final purpose.
They burn.
They burn. In each of these works, the fire the protagonist
I can set you on fire as well, did you know?
Freedom,
I can do this.
that separates them from the prior burdens of the
I'm
plot.
sorry.
They each
I had to do it.
emerge
I want to
from the
use my
dark
model
more
a little bit more,
clear-eyed
you
than
know?
when they entered,
So I have
but
to do
personal
those
growth
things.
Doesn't remove the horror of their circumstances. The characters encounter the abyss. No, they lose themselves within it. And in the face of true dark, they gather the pieces of their own self-definition, everything by which they identify themselves, and they burn them.
Interesting.
Until there's nothing left. We're back to Flamini in the cave. The solitude, the social uprooting, it consumes you.
Yeah.
Or to put it a better way, you consume yourself.
Oh, this was from the beginning.
There is no us. REM sleep can only properly happen in darkness. In too much light, Jacqueline Yallop writes, our REM duration is reduced or removed completely. Deprived of darkness, our dreams are vapid, too slight to restore or refresh, too insipid to matter. Will Hunt writes of the many luminaries of our species that found prolonged exposure to the dark a necessary component of their most radical ideas, Pythagoras and Da Vinci, Muhammad and Elijah. Their journeys without light played a part in the ideas that defined them, the space, again, to dream.
Dream.
I think about the nearly
Is this why we are no longer creative?
With the light and
Should I sleep more? Should I sleep more than 5 hours a day?
Oscillations of day and night, but this extends to a precise celestial position and context. Nowhere else in the solar system, John Dvorak writes, can you stand on solid ground and watch a moon blot out the sun. Furthermore, even the Earth will not get to witness this forever.
No, that was stupid. I'm sorry.
The moon moves imperceptibly farther from us. One day, after hundreds of millions of years, it won't be close enough to cover the sun's glow.
Yeah.
We exist in the only place, at the only time, where we could witness this exact phenomenon. The point farthest on Earth from a consistent human-made light is likely Point Nemo.
Nemo.
It is the most remote place
Find
on the
Nemo.
planet, a position in the middle of the South Pacific more than 1,500 miles from any land.
Oh,
A point
yeah.
so
Wait, Pacific. Yeah, it's there's a big nothingness between South America and Australia, right?
As many writers have pointed out, anyone unlucky enough to occupy Point Nemo would be closer to astronauts aboard the ISS than any human on land. It is, says Cullen Murphy,
let's go there. Let's make a stream. Let's make a stream there.
On June 13th, 2113, a solar eclipse's path of totality will pass directly over Point Nemo. The moon will, for 1 minute and 35 seconds, plunge the darkness of space directly into the darkness of Earth.
Wait, what? When? Oh, never mind. This is quite far away.
No one will be there to see it.
It's in about 100 years.
The waves were dead. The tides were in their graves. The moon, their mistress.
Their mistress had expired before. The winds were withered in the stagnant air, and the clouds perished.
Darkness had no need of aid from them. She was the universe. Anyone writing about the dark inevitably finds themselves writing about death.
Really?
It is maybe the only place you can end up. The final darkness, the end of all our metaphors, our fears of dying boiled down to the same simple dichotomy. There's nothing there, or there's something there. After all, isn't that what people report when they feel themselves dying? We focus on the moving.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, the brain is still living after you die for a little bit. As far I am aware, while in the process of dying, you start going to memories, basically. Like what's happening is that your brain, it's trying to survive, but it doesn't see any solution. So what is happening is it's going through your memories again, and to look if there's some way out of this, but of course there is not. And this is also why sometimes people who have like close death experiences, they say, oh, my life went by, I saw this or I saw that. Because in the end, it's a dream. It's a long dream. 5 minutes can be like 20 years. Because you are technically experiencing it in your brain. Like it can be, yeah, you go through memories, or after the memory, or you don't even remember that you went through your memories. Your brain is doing it by itself, and you think about something else. I don't know, you think about something good. Like if you think you go to heaven, I'm pretty sure that you will dream about going to heaven. So yeah, that's how I explain those near-death experiences. Like you imagine what you want to imagine. If you think you go to hell when you die, you will see hell. Just saying. So better die in a good way. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know about this too, what he will say.
Towards a light, but that destination only exists because they're moving through the dark, through a tunnel, a cave, a basement, an ocean. I was moving through this long, dark place. It seemed like a sewer. I was in an utterly black, dark void. I had the feeling that I was moving through a deep, very dark valley. I don't know what happens after you die. I don't know what happens while you're dying.
I don't know as well, but this would be the scientific explanation of what is kind of known. No one knows, technically, you know? So, yeah.
But throughout writing this, I keep having this thought, this dream of an astronaut somehow thrown into intergalactic space, the barren distance between galaxies, the truest void that exists. I think about how you would still be able to see the stars, or rather you would see entire galaxies as single points of light, but that light would would share no illumination. You would look down at your body and see nothing. You'd move your hand over your face and the galaxies would disappear behind your own darkness. That dark would be the only way you could recognize yourself. There's nothing there. There's something there.
Yeah. Okay, I know what he means. I mean, if someone doesn't get it at that point, and so you stupid. Darkness is not a dead, does not obliterate, will not bury you or take your breath away. Yeah. Oh, it's the text of the song. This essay was funded entirely by viewers like you. Projects like this are both expensive and time consuming. Yes. If you enjoyed it, please consider supporting the channel. Yeah, check them out. We're gonna watch another video of him now. Which is one of the things that he mentioned, the fear of depths. And if I would have any fear, or if I would have something I'm scared of the most, it's probably depths as well. Like at the ocean is crazy. Not necessarily the galaxy, because you know I can fly. But the ocean is scary. Like you don't see anything. You are just going into the depth, and yeah, it's technically also darkness. Technically, now that I think about it. But yeah, okay, let's see.
Early in 1925, headlines across the United States briefly focused on an intensely local and specific story.
Yes.
A man in central Kentucky was stuck in a cave.
Oh, damn.
His name was Floyd Collins. He was 37 years old, and he had spent countless hours exploring the dark tunnels, chambers, and cascades.
How do you get stuck in a cave?
It wasn't the first time he had lost his light underground. It wasn't the first time he had faced a squeeze. And he assumed when he was found a day after the cave-in that trapped his legs, it would be a fairly simple process to extract him from the cave he had so easily wriggled into.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. But why?
Underestimated his own caving ability. What felt to him like an easy scramble, only 60 feet underground, was a near impossibility to most people, both physically and mentally.
Okay.
The sand cave where he was trapped was unstable, narrow, and, like all caves, smotheringly dark.
Yeah.
Men would go in to give Collins a drink of water or a sandwich and come out trembling.
I want a sandwich. Speaking of it, maybe I should make one. We have still a long... You know what? I'm gonna make myself a sandwich now. I'll see you all in a minute. Maybe I should make a note on myself. 1 second. Where's my OBS? I have the note thing, but this was like this was a disclaimer. Okay, wait. I will make a new text. Text. There. Okay. Making sandwich. Let me make this smaller. Oh. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, I will see you all in a minute. Hi. I'm back. I have 2 sandwiches now. I was like, okay, maybe we will make a long stream and we will learn Japanese. So let's make 2. It will be fine. Yeah, if you can even call this a sandwich. I literally made bread with... I put 1 cheese on it and then... That's it. But yeah, okay. Let's continue.
Halfway to his position.
Wait, did I put the text away? Yeah, I did. Let me actually delete it. Where is it? Oh, I did already delete it. Oh, I'm fast.
A few people had made it to him.
I did not even notice.
Brother, a firefighter. They planned to tie a rope around Collins and pull him out, even though the walls of the cave could shred his body like knives, even though, as a doctor warned, the rope might stretch his organs like taffy.
What is taffy?
Begged them to pull him out, even if they had to pull his foot off, but they couldn't. While the folks in the cave struggled to think of anything that could rescue Collins, the rest of the country was wrapped, with newspapers running headlines from coast to coast. People hung on every word. The horror of the situation, the drama of the rescue attempts. It was electric.
How many people are there?
6
That's
days
a lot of
after
people.
The first cave-in, officials decided that their best chance of rescue was to dig an entirely separate tunnel in from the surface. It indeed might have...
Isn't this dangerous? Because it can collapse?
...been their best chance of rescue. But it wasn't enough. 14 days, 2 full weeks after he trapped himself in a cave that others could barely enter, Floyd Collins had died.
What?
And what was the
Didn't they give him food and water? How did he die?
rest of the country left?
Wait, I can read it. Too late. But they will reclaim his body. Wait, what? For more than 17 days, finally surrendered and without warning opened a tiny hole between a rescue shaft. So they found him after 17 days?
Died. And what was the rest of the country left with? A gaping fascination at what lies beneath us, a fixation with the blackness. Congress regulated the area around Collins Cave in part to try and regulate the stream of wannabe explorers plunging into their own underground worlds. You might have heard what resulted. Mammoth Cave National Park. Today, it's the longest known cave network in the world. 2 million people visit.
Is it the thing from the South Park episode? Just asking, I don't know. You know, just asking.
That park a year. Because despite its origins, despite the involuntary shudder that descriptions of it cause, despite the fact that it is easier in every single respect to simply stay above ground, we just can't resist it. It is, in one of the most literal ways possible, a call of the void.
What was that? What is this thing? Oh, it's person. It's a person. At first I thought it's like a squid or something. Fear of depth.
For many years, we thought the bottom of the world lay in the Krubera Cave, 6,824 feet.
He's in a cave.
Caucasus Mountains.
He couldn't resist as well. You are one of them. You are one of them, Mr. Jacob Geller. You are one of them.
What does being in a cave feel like? Let's start with the basics. It's dark. It's really dark. Water and air may trickle past the first room of a cavern, but light is bound to just a couple feet of the entrance. Once you've taken a turn deeper, you're surrounded by true black, no stars. You can stand in the dark with your light off for as long as you want, and your eyes will never adjust. It seems like, after crawling through a passage, that it should hold a little residual light. It feels like it should remember you were there, that if you look back, the rock you just prostrated yourself on should look a little less alien than the ones you haven't yet touched. But it doesn't. As soon as you turn your lamp away, that area fades back into the void, and once it returns to the void, nothing is familiar. I said multiple times out loud, "There's no way that's the way we came from." I was wrong. And thankfully, I was with people in the cave who were much smarter than me, but I couldn't shake the what-ifs from my head.
Yeah, I can feel that one. I believe when you are in a cave, as you said, everything feels not familiar, so you are more tempted to, you know, take the wrong turn, to go the wrong way, and you maybe also lose count. Like, let's say you were like, okay, let's go 3 times left, and then you start counting. You're like, 1, 2. Is this already the 3rd one, or is it already the 4th one, or is it still the 2nd one? You know, you start questioning things that doesn't make sense. Then you get lost. Yeah.
Ed, what if I had stumbled in here alone? What if my light went out? What if all I had was my sense of touch and the sound of caverns, trying to understand the walls of rooms that barely made sense when illuminated?
Scanner sombre. This looks really cool. Scanner sombre. Interesting. Looks cool. Interesting game.
Caves are dark, but they aren't silent. They sound wet, because they are. Thousands of tiny currents of water, individual drops and streams and rivers cutting their way through the rock on a timescale that none of us will live to see. The sounds of water echo through a cave, precisely enough that I felt like I could hear a single drop falling off a stalactite a dozen yards away. Simultaneously, though, caves swallow sound, muting voices and movements just a few feet from me. And the combination of these two contradictory effects is absolutely...
This game actually looks so cool. I like the concept of it. I think you could easily turn this into a horror game as well. If it doesn't exist already.
Canny. It seems like everything about a cave is built to mess with how we usually take in the world. The light is gone, the sounds don't make sense, and the space itself is... I mean, this is the real map that my guide...
This looks like Gigi's Mineshaft.
handed me before I came in.
Oh boy.
Look at this. Oh, this clears everything up.
Yeah,
And
no, it
what's
makes
more,
sense.
I feel like I could memorize this hallowed nightmare fuel and it wouldn't even begin to scratch the complexity of the actual cavern. Because there's no way this paper can capture the three-dimensionality of these passages. There were times when we'd be walking one direction, drop down 5 feet, and then turn around and start crawling back in exactly the same direction, but somehow under the exact rocks we had been walking on before. I have no idea how many floors this place had. 4? 10? 30? Caves are, as much as any geological formation can be, alive.
Caves breathe, have active circulatory, digestive, and...
Going back to my question in the beginning. So what animals live there? Bats? Snakes? Bugs? Maybe snails? What else? What else?
excretory systems can contract disease and suffer injuries and heal many of both, and are constantly growing, just like any other living body.
And I've already made clear my thoughts on living spaces. The strangest thing of all to me, though, was that there always did seem to be a way forward. Hundreds of feet underground, through pitch-black rooms and shoulder-width hallways, there was always a way forward. It straddled this bizarre tightrope. Obviously, no human would have ever designed a space like this, and yet there were just enough accommodations that I felt like I should be traversing it. It hit me like a stalactite to the face. I know this kind of space. Caves are superstructures.
This looks super cool as well. This is also a game? What was that?
That superstructure like depth and somehow welcoming hostility, like the Krubera Cave, stretching for miles below the Western Caucasus mountain range. This is where a group of explorers thought they would find the true deepest place on Earth. There are two main features of Krubera. First are the chutes. These are the things that allowed it to be a contender.
What the heck?
For the deepest cave. They are what feel like bottomless.
Is it super hot down there? Is it super hot down there?
Where the stone just drops away for hundreds and hundreds of feet. This is the howling nothing that pulled the team forward. This is where it was exceptionally easy to lean the wrong direction on your descent rig and fall until you hit the living rocks below. Then there are the hard parts. They're called meanders, and they're the warped tunnels in between the chutes. For the Krubera team, who were hoping to find the bottommost point of the cave, meanders were what halted their progress. One such time, 5,800 feet underground, the team felt well and truly stuck. Until a breakthrough. The cavers found a way forward through a 300-foot-long tunnel they called the Way to the Dream. Ironically, this tunnel is about as nightmarish as anything I can imagine. The walls and roof were jagged with knife-sharp rock, and it was so narrow.
Is he in that cave right now? What? Is he there right now?
Through on your hands and knees. It was a belly crawl the entire way.
This is crazy.
I seriously can't stop thinking about
Let me
those
sit
spaces.
like a normal person. Ah. Damn it, I have too much things on me right now. I have like a hoodie on, but it's open, so it was below me and it hindered me in sitting like a normal person.
Underground. How elemental they felt, how untouched, how unnervingly welcoming they were.
What?
I felt it most when I was sidling along a passage too narrow to
Is this
pass through
water?
straight on, my hands bracing against the wall and my feet.
Wait, this means at the bottom there's like a huge water thing.
Skirting through the murky water on the ground. Why would this corridor be exactly this
That's a lot of
size?
water.
Why not so
Look
narrow
at
I didn't have a
that.
chance of fitting through, or so wide I couldn't see the other side? Why did it feel
It's actually a lot.
made for me? And I
Come
could
into me.
imagine just
Okay, bro, calm down.
going down into these caverns for days, always finding another passage, always squeezing myself through another opening. I would tell myself that just down this route, everything would make sense. I would push myself further, because the caves seemed...
How long has he been? How long was he in there?
Constant conversation with these growing...
Is this a game?
living
This
walls.
looks 3D animated.
The call of the void is rarely more apt than when talking about the depths. I felt it well within that cave. And in fiction too, the depths are consistently linked to that alluring feeling of self-destruction. In Playdead's Inside, the game initially appears to follow the language of many 2D games, that is, left to right.
Yeah.
There's a much more insidious journey here, one much more resonant to the game's themes, and one impossible to ignore once you know what's happening. A descent. Plotted
going
out,
down?
It feels like the boy is in free fall, always sinking deeper into the earth, into the water, into the horrible depths of whatever's happening inside. One of the most chilling parts of the game for me is the first moment that really highlights this descent. This submarine, when you first get it, feels like a blessing. No longer
Really?
do you have to worry about holding your breath. Now you can explore these flooded hallways with confidence and light and power. And then, just when you've started to get comfortable, you smash through some loose boards in the floor and find yourself.
Oh. Damn. He messed up.
Ugh. It's just so big and so empty and so... This is the first time in the game we haven't been able to see the floor.
Okay, I was about to say something, but I'm gonna
Here we are,
control myself, okay?
It's not claustrophobia
You need to
anymore.
control
It's
yourself,
not
it's
the fear of
important.
drowning. It's just those depths. It's why by
You can
the
think
end,
about what I might
everything
have said, but I will not tell you.
This
What's going
laboratory
on?
might be
Is he being
almost
followed?
normal, but how could it be?
Why are they
We've been
running?
Tumbling downward for hours.
Oh,
how
damn.
could it be normal? Thousands of feet below the surface.
Fishies.
And when you burst out into what's seemingly outside again in the finale, it
What is
feels
that?
impossible. We know implicitly what shouldn't be on the other side of that wall. More labs, maybe, or a sheer rock wall, or just a blackness, infinite and welcoming. But not the surface again. Never the surface. We're in too deep.
Yeah. Oh, he messed up again. Oh, what? Ayo? What is happening there?
In Jeff
Yeah, bet.
Vandermeer's Annihilation, a team of
What is
scientists
this?
exploring a geographic
squid?
aberration discover
Ina?
they find a spiral staircase leading downward.
Oh, it's like in the
Almost
Maya
immediately,
temple.
The protagonist recontextualizes
There was like a... Was it a Maya temple? Some temple in Mexico where they called it the hallway or the stairway to hell or something like that. They were going on for hours and hours and hours, and then they just gave up at some point.
the staircase in her head. It's not a tunnel,
It's
it's
crazy.
a tower.
Or at least that's
She
what they said in the
insists that
documentary.
it's a
I don't know
tower.
if it's true.
She's frustrated that the others don't recognize it as what it is, which is clearly a tower.
Yeah.
The book doesn't really explain why she insists on this nomenclature, but the dominance of the staircase in her mind and in ours as readers hints at the reason.
Well, some
Though the
things
spiral
red,
sinks into the
sometimes
earth rather than
some things
towering
blue.
above it, its presence is always felt, implicitly visible from every part of the infected area. Every event that happens in the story, every clash with another character or new mystery that presents itself, the biologist mentally returns to the tower, and I did as well. We
Okay.
both knew from the second it was discovered
Oh,
that
it's
nothing could be
Stonehenge.
truly known about this world without descending into that tower. And in the end, she does, plunging into what is ultimately a genuine eldritch horror.
Why don't you
But for
just
me,
jump
the
down?
unexplored tower was the more powerful idea, always beckoning her back, always present in our mind's eye. The idea that you don't even have to be in the depths to feel their influence, that simply knowing they're there is enough. After the way to the dream, the cavers found themselves stuck again, 5,888 feet underground. The only potential way forward was through an
How much things did they take with them? Because it must have taken so long to get in, and you also have to get out. I cannot imagine that there's anything to eat in this step.
underwater passage, but because the way to the dream was so narrow,
Can you drink the
they
water
couldn't
there?
bring any scuba equipment
You
with
only
them.
need food,
They'd
and then
have to
you
dive into the sump
take a
blind and
filter or
unassisted,
something and drink the
hope
water?
beyond hope that there was a way forward, and they did.
I wonder if you will come out at another cave at some point.
There's a phenomenon called a moulin, detailed
Yeah.
by Robert McFarlane in his magnificent book Underland.
Underland.
A moulin is essentially an ice funnel. Glaciers are not solid. They're
Yeah.
perforated like the Earth with tunnels and chambers, and in Amulin's case, sheer hypnotizing drops. The funnels are created by water racing along the top of a glacier, eventually finding a weak point in the ice and plunging down into it.
Yeah.
The walls of Amulin are smooth and blue, like polished glass. They are often as deep as the glacier itself. They roar with the amount of water pouring through them. McFarlane notes that across cultures and countries, stories are common of explorers crashing through the ice into a chasm, presumably dying, and yet re-emerging from the glacier days or weeks later.
What?
Their own resurrection from under the frozen world. He and other authors have also noted the uncanny pull that the Mulins...
This... I don't want this to happen to me. I would be like, oh shoot. Like, there are probably experience to climb and stuff like this, but that's crazy. Crazy.
Specifically have. An outdoor blogger named Dave Gallagher referred to Amulin as his own Moby Dick, living in his mind for years after he first experienced it. I know I have also read, though I cannot find where, stories of the near hypnosis.
It's getting a little bit tight there. Just saying, it's getting a little bit tight.
Themselves in. For now, those stories exist as my own personal mythos.
Okay. What is this?
In the Chinese room's Dear Esther, the protagonist is reborn through caves, water, and depths. Delirious from fever and injury, he stumbles once, twice, 3 times deeper into a cave on the apparition of a Hebridean island his mind has created. The first fall takes him from the surface into the caverns. The second from the caverns into a slick waterfall basin.
Did they animate this themselves? This looks crazy.
Highway underwater.
Or did they take it from a game?
This is the underworld made manifest as it exists in stories, religions, myths. The highway where the memory of his loved one is trapped.
What is that?
Bed where she took her last breath. It is everything about the depths, at once overwhelming. The darkest recesses of his mind, trapped in the literal deepest part of the world, under so many miles of pressure he can barely see the surface. His re-emergence from each underworld is, too, simultaneous. Surfacing from the water, as clear-headed as he's been, walking out of the cave onto the shore. There is no separation of the mental and physical depths in Dear Esther. They are one and the same.
Look at the moon, it's beautiful.
There is, sometimes, danger.
Fishies.
The depths.
This is this game again.
That have lived their lives with 26,000 feet of water as a ceiling.
Yeah.
Creatures that quite literally melt when taken to the surface.
Yeah.
They were never meant to see the light of day.
I wonder what they see right now, because they have light shining onto them. I wonder what they see. Are they completely blind and don't see anything? But why do they have eyes then? What are their eyes doing? Maybe they do something else. You know, maybe they... No, I don't know. Maybe... No, I don't know. Why do they have eyes if they don't use them? This is the weird thing for me. I don't know. Or if they cannot use them. How do they function? What happens when a shining bright like that comes to them? Will they never be able to see anything again?
Or
because of that?
Uranium, maybe the single most dangerous refuse of our species. A material that will stay dangerous after the death of our children's children's children. A power source used once.
Why is it censored?
And radiating farther into the future than we can possibly imagine. What is it like to create something that could kill a civilization 100,000 years, 1,000,000 years from now?
Yeah.
How do you bury something so deep that it never comes up? Not after history and language and maybe even species has been wiped away and started anew. It's the absurd challenge that faces every nuclear waste disposal plant. And, of course, it's a challenge that's more or less impossible to test.
to the sun.
In Underland,
I don't know.
McFarlane details the waste isolation pilot project in New Mexico, a tomb for nuclear waste set to be sealed about 15 years from now. Half a mile underground, the rooms containing the waste will be intentionally collapsed, then sealed with 13 layers of concrete and soil.
I don't know if that's enough.
And then the salt will start to drip. Because
To
the
be honest.
WIPP is buried in a salt bed millions of years
I mean,
old.
someone for sure will forget in those million years that something is laying underground there, you know? And what happens if there's an earthquake of something that, you know, is bringing up a mass back to the surface? Or like letting it leak?
Slowly, that salt will crawl into every crevice, fill in every space left behind. The salt will confine the radiation better than we ever could. We're still not sure if it's good enough, though. Acres of salt and concrete and radiation.
I mean, it's
buried in
moving
a
as
desert
well.
that
That's the
frequently
issue.
reaches over 105 degrees seems like it would dissuade anyone from coming near. But then again, so does living under miles of pitch black water.
Yeah.
If it exists, we will attempt to uncover it.
Yeah.
And so, there's another layer of protection.
What?
The waste site in New Mexico will be surrounded by dozens of 25-foot-high granite pillars surrounding a wall of earth, which surrounds more pillars, which surround...
I don't know if this is a good idea. If I would be someone, you know, destroying things, like, I don't know, 200,000 years in the future, let's say civilization is collapsing and everything goes back, and then in 200 or 300,000 years everything is kind of going back to normal. You get technology again and stuff like that, and then you find those structures there. You are like, oh my god, what's that? And you will dig and dig, and then you will die. And the radiation is back in the air. Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea. I don't know, man. I don't know.
surrounds a granite room engraved with a warning written in
Oh.
English, Spanish, Russian, French, Chinese, Arabic, and Navajo.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The warning will read,
But this can also collapse. And I mean, the writings over time, they will not stay there forever. They can, you know, they can also return into something. I don't know.
"We are going to tell you what lies underground, why you should not disturb this place, and what may happen if you do."
I mean, you will probably not even speak the language, any of those languages in 200,000 years. Yeah, I cannot think but say, like, this is a bad idea. What I would do, I would put something like, you know, cave paintings. People now can read pictures. You can tell people, this is down there is bad. Don't go further down.
El sitio era conocido como el WIP,
Oh.
o el sitio de la planta piloto de aislamiento de residuos cuando cerró en el año
Wait, what? This is
1938
in
AD.
13 years. Wait, so this is pretty new, actually.
ядерного оружия. Также
This is
известна
pretty new.
атомная бомба.
我们制造的问题
哦
不是孩子的责任。
That's Chinese.
هذه الرسالة تحذير
Arabic.
من الخطر.
What is this language? Hebrew? I don't know. Oh,
Will it work?
no, I don't think so.
I want to believe yes. But imagine us, a new species,
Yeah.
finding an ancient monument with strange lettering, ominous
Yeah,
pictograms, and thousands
exactly
of
this.
obelisks surrounding
Exactly
it.
this. That's why I say, make a painting. Everyone will understand a freaking painting. Just paint. Yeah, this is down there. It's dangerous. You don't want to go there. Make a painting out of it. Don't put letters on it.
Imagine
Make a painting on it.
Us.
We were able to figure out what the cavemen said when they put a freaking man with a stick and an animal there. We know that they meant that they are hunting. Put a painting there. Paint something. Engrave, you know, put something, crave something into it.
Breaking into a tomb, disregarding the cries and promises of long dead civilizations.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Underwater tunnel on the way to the dream, and thousands upon thousands of feet of descent the team reached a chamber from which they could go no lower.
Oh.
6,824 feet underground, they found the lowest part of that cavern and they gave it an appropriate name, Game Over.
Isn't game over though.
The isn't the deepest cave in the world, by the way. Not anymore.
Anymore.
Just 2 years ago, a team found a neighbor that was actually some 400
A neighbor?
deeper,
Is it next to it?
Vizora Cave in Georgia. It seems naive to think that this is actually the deepest cave. There are always further passages. There's always a way to keep going. But sometimes there's no way to come back.
Yeah.
Cardboard Computer's Kentucky Route Zero is a game that takes place largely underground, sometimes specifically, sometimes in a more nebulous sense. What's ever present, no matter the locale, though, is a feeling of pressure. Because Earth is rarely the only thing the characters of this game are under. To a person, each is grappling with the perils of the world above.
Oh,
Some are old horrors
is this a
like
doggo?
alcoholism and grief.
It is a
Some
doggo.
are a sadistic modern twist, as the game refers to it, a new kind of debt.
It's a mess.
You get the sense that the characters felt, on some level, like they'd be able to escape the surface's horrors. The Zero, enigmatically referred to from the very first scene, is supposedly an underground highway through the caves to help the characters get to where they're going. But as the story stretches on, the promise of escape and the promise of the Zero fades. There's still a destination in mind, but the steps to get there seem increasingly obtuse. They have to double back, stumble blindly, struggle to stay afloat.
What is this?
And all the while, the horrors compound. All the while, the debt piles up.
Okay. Interesting.
Far from an escape, the caves of Kentucky Route Zero seem to magnify the pressures
That's a
that each
big
character
fire.
is running from. What drove them from the surface world now traps them here. That constant weight threatens to prevent them from ever returning. Kentucky Route Zero may resemble an actual cave more than any other game in existence. It meanders. It's dark. It feels impossible to fully wrap one's head around. It is absolutely bursting with strange beauty. And in
Lava
the end,
something.
we're faced once again with death and rebirth.
What is this?
Like an explorer disappearing under a glacier, or a man who disappears into his own underground world. Kentucky Route Zero takes place in Mammoth Cave in Kentucky.
How big is
It's a
this
national
game?
park
This looks
established
crazy.
on the death of a man trapped in a cave. Floyd Collins's cave is probably connected to Mammoth somehow, if you followed those sandy tunnels deep enough.
Oh,
That discovery has been walled off for now, though. Sand Cave is gated, bolted, and welded closed. You'd think this wouldn't be necessary, that no one would want to enter the hellish chute where a man
Yeah,
died
that's what you
prolonged
think.
death in the dark and the still. But we gate it regardless, because there is an inexplicable, irrational, irresistible pull to these worlds. There is a void, and it indeed does call. Come, see what lies a little deeper.
yeah. Sure. Wait, that's the end? Oh, this felt fast. Oh, it's less than the previous one. Okay. But yeah, we don't wanna waste time because we want to play a game as well. But those videos are so good. Oh my god. Okay, the next one is the last video for today. Afterwards, we're gonna learn some Japanese, and then we're gonna switch over to the other stream on YouTube. Maybe should I already schedule it? I will. We can do this at the end. No need to do it now. Okay. The next video is Fear of Cold.
The scariest story I've ever read was written over 100 years ago by Jack London.
Jack London.
It's called To Build a Fire.
Okay.
This story has very few hallmarks of your typical horror writing. There's only one human character, and he is generally very sane. There are no spirits of the dead, no nightmares,
Wait, I think I know this book.
no guilt that ticks away like a time bomb.
I think.
And yet, while reading To Build a Fire, I feel paralyzed in a way I
haven't read it. I only heard about it.
With any other written work.
Like
it
the things that are inside of it.
16 pages long. It is about a man freezing to death.
Yeah.
He doesn't start freezing, though. He starts confident and decently prepared, hiking alone through the Yukon back to a logging camp. The narration even describes him as quick and ready in the things of life. But as becomes immediately apparent, it only flatters him to highlight his naivete.
Yeah.
Should he be traveling with only a dog as a companion? No, he should not. Could he have worn more protective gear? Sure. But his real arrogance, the narration says, is that he was not able to imagine. 50 degrees below zero.
Damn. This is like, wasn't there a city with this degree? What? Like, you are not allowed to be like longer than like 10 minutes outside, otherwise you might actually die.
Meant 80 degrees of frost. Such facts told him that it was cold and uncomfortable, and that was all. It did not lead him to consider.
Oh no, you're not allowed to stand 10 minutes or longer outside. Yeah, like standing still. Like, what was the name? Yukata? No, this is something else. Yukata, I think it was the name. Crazy city. Yeah.
Consider his weaknesses as a creature affected by temperature, nor did he think about man's general weakness, able to live only within narrow limits of heat and cold.
Yes.
Most of us, in our day-to-day lives, live within this narrow spectrum of heat and cold, and
we do
so relatively thoughtlessly. Although we may not enjoy being cold, although we may build our houses and societies to avoid it, true phregophobia or cryophobia.
I have never seen those words in my entire life. I have no clue what they mean.
Isn't a common one. Maybe it's because the cold feels predictable, kept in check by a calendar. Maybe it's because we can always bundle up, just...
Yeah, I was about to say, you can fight the cold more than you can fight the heat.
Keep putting on layers. Maybe it's because, unlike spiders, or the dark, or an unexpected noise at night, few of us have really experienced the cold. Few of us have seen how ruthlessly it will break body and mind and spirit.
We played that game! We played it. What was the name? Was it? No, Punk is another game. Something with punk. Something with punk in the name. But we played it. And we made it. We made it as well. It took a few tries, but we made it.
Forgive mistakes.
Fear of Gold by Jacob Geller.
In To Build a Fire, the air is colder than 50 degrees below zero, colder than 60 below, colder than 70. The man's mouth is frozen closed, something he expected. The tobacco juice from the chew in his cheek.
Right, you cannot make fire at those temperatures. Yeah, that's true. You cannot make anything. Yeah.
Icicle from his lips. He feels his nose begin to freeze, although this doesn't bother him too much. Many short stories, particularly horror ones, are made by their twist endings. It's not until the twist, the last paragraph, or even the last sentence that we truly
9 billion names of Gone?
That's not the case in To Build a Fire. We know almost as soon as it starts that this man is going to die. The paralyzing magnetism of the story comes from finding out where exactly it becomes inevitable. Probably the answer is before the day even started. There was no way this man was ever going to survive a hike across the Yukon in 100 degrees of frost.
Yes.
The arc of the story isn't a simple linear freeze. It's a horrible series of dominoes that fall one after the other. The first domino, probably, is the man plunging his leg into
Oh
an
no.
icy pool just below a frozen riverbed.
Wait, they made a movie about
carefully
that.
walking along this creek. He had looked for signs of hidden water. It didn't matter. But a frozen leg is only a death sentence if one can't build a fire, and the man can. He sits down with his frozen leg and
Can he?
patiently builds it the way you need to build a fire, growing slowly from scraps of bark and dry grass to full-size sticks. Feeling begins to return to the man's fingers and toes.
But you managed to make a
London
fire?
describes the feeling leaving your extremities in the cold is poetic, but not inaccurate. He says that the blood of the man's body shrank back from the cold, withdrew from his digits, because the blood was alive. The blood was trying to get away from the freeze. In reality, your hands will lose their warmth, lose their hot blood within seconds. In these situations of extreme cold, the temperature of your hands will drop more than 30 degrees from your body's typical 98.6 to closer to 60.
Damn.
It will continue to fall, your blood fleeing the cold the longer you leave yourself exposed. And to build a fire, the second domino falls just as the man starts to warm his hands and feet. His fire, his savior.
But he managed to make a fire?
The heat from the flames rises into the branches of the tree above him. The tree warms just enough that the snow slips off its branches, falling to the forest floor. It falls directly on the fragile collection of kindling, smothering the flames.
No.
The fire, his lifeline, is out. This is the first time in the story where the man realizes how dire a situation he's really in. London writes that the fire being snuffed out was like hearing his own judgment of death.
Oh, damn.
But he continues to fight. He can build another fire, this time not under a tree. He gathers more dry grass and sticks, although he has trouble closing his fingers around them. He has more bark to use for kindling in his pocket, although he can no longer feel it. The dominoes are falling faster now.
Yeah.
He tries to hold the box of matches, but his deadened fingers drop.
Ah, he had
into the
matches,
snow.
okay.
He tries again and again to pick it up.
Because I was like, how did he do fire? Like, how? But, okay, this makes sense.
But he
If
can't.
he has
In a
something,
last-ditch
a tool.
effort, he spills everything left in the box, and against all odds manages to strike them all at once. 70 matches
Damn.
blaze to life in his hands. He refuses to let them go, even when he can faintly feel them burning the flesh on his hands. In his desperation, he succeeds. He manages to light another fire for almost 30 seconds, until he attempts to readjust the pile, and his hands, shaking uncontrollably, scatter the burning twigs across the snow. It's all over by this point, and yet it keeps going. The man thinks that if he could kill the dog, his only companion,
What? Why would you do
he
that?
could warm his hands in its body and build another
No.
fire. But he doesn't have the strength. He somehow finds the energy to run, and he does blindly what feels like miles, but was likely less than 100 feet. He feels straight
Where's the dog?
and pictures himself among the men that one day may find his body. He falls asleep.
No, the dog. Poor dog.
Fear of the cold is almost always paired with the danger of isolation. Some of our most famous horror fiction entombs its characters in a near impenetrable blanket of frost, the cold acting as a barrier between them and safety. In The Shining, for instance, Jack Torrance and his family go to live at the Overlook Hotel during the winter, intending to do some upkeep on the premises and enjoy the weather-enforced family time. But as the cold closes in, the snow walling off the hotel from the rest of the world, the winter season of the Overlook Hotel instead externalizes the danger of the story. Threatened by the increasingly deranged Jack, Wendy and Danny are unable to reach out, unable to escape. They are trapped by
What
the
is this?
cold,
Is this a movie?
just as they're trapped by Jack's abuse. Within The Shining, there's also the unspoken
The
notion
Shining.
that nothing, not the people, nor even the
Is it from a book again, or is it like a movie?
itself
Movie.
is designed for this kind of cold.
Oh,
Jack
damn.
was hired as a caretaker because the Overlook cannot survive the season by itself. Faced with the unrelenting cold of the Rocky Mountains, the infrastructure would simply crumble. The brutal winter environment adds to the feeling that everything here somehow stands against nature. At the end of the book, the Overlook Hotel
So it is a book, okay.
loses the battle, reduced to rubble in its stand against the elements. In the film, however, the cold deals a more personal end to Jack. He is frozen and thus preserved on the
I know
premises,
that picture.
rooted
I didn't know it's from that movie.
in John Carpenter's
Damn.
The Thing and the short story it's based on, the blasted frozen desert of the Antarctic similarly serves as a wall between the characters and the rest of civilization. Living in a research base deep in Antarctica, a group of men find the frozen body of an alien, or find another research team who found it, depending on the adaptation. They recover its frozen body and examine it, but it's not long until the alien, awakened from its frozen slumber, starts to slaughter and impersonate the crew. Although the titular thing is an abomination, a horror, the men stay close to it because they simply have no other choice. The alien may kill them, the cold will, no question. In the story, even before the creature is revealed, the outside is...
But why do they stay where it is? Is it giving them warmth or what's happening?
As white death. Death of a needle-fingered cold driven before the wind, sucking heat from any warm thing. The Antarctic is alien to the humans too, more similar to the surface of a barren moon than any other landscape on Earth. Externalized danger, once again causing interior panic. Every struggle exacerbated because of the inhuman cold around them in the never-ending night. But in both The Shining and The Thing, the cold refuses to discriminate between pro and antagonist. Jack freezes within the hedge maze, no amount of manic energy able to combat the ice. In The Thing, the Antarctic is ultimately what preserves the rest of humanity. Although every man at the research station is destined to die by one method.
What is the name of that game? I really forgot the name, but it reminds me so much of the game. It's not Fragpunk, that's the shooter game. It's something with punk. Oh, Frostpunk. It was Frostpunk. Okay, I was close enough.
Consider another.
Everything reminds me of Frostpunk.
The cold is the great equalizer. Nothing, man nor beast, survives that cold forever. That doesn't stop them from trying.
It's fire.
Perhaps the most famous story of real-life survival in the Antarctic is Admiral Richard Byrd, an American explorer in the early 20th century. Byrd and his expeditions were responsible for several Antarctic experiments and achievements and meteorological readings, etc. Byrd was notably one of the first 2 people to fly over the South Pole in a plane. His rounds of funding for exploration laid the groundwork for much of the research still being done today. But that's not the reason why people know who Richard Byrd is. He's famous because for 5 months of the Antarctic winter, he lived alone in a shack in the continent's interior, while everyone for 100 miles tried to murder him. Byrd's stated purpose for spending the winter so far south was to gather scientific data, and the reason he claimed to go alone was because there wouldn't be room for 3, and 2 might just annoy each other. Seriously.
What?
But in Alone, his memoir of the expedition, the streak of pride that runs through the whole thing is undeniable. Byrd is a man who understands the value that runs through the
Interesting.
whole thing.
The cover looks really interesting.
Byrd is a man who understands the value of big capital letter accomplishments. He'd probably be frustrated that I had to qualify that he was one of 2 people to fly over the South Pole. And so, for reasons explicit and unstated, purposes scientific and aspirational, Byrd and his team essentially buried a shack in the ice, carved a couple channels for food and other supplies, and then his team left, and Byrd remained. The first part of Byrd's stay in the cold goes shockingly well. He takes his weather measurements every day, he creates little projects for himself, organizing the food and emergency supplies, he goes on walks, he reads. It's never easy. It's always living in a fundamentally inhospitable environment, but things go about as well as he hoped they would. However,
and then
he knows this accord with the elements is a tenuous one. In his memoir, he writes, "Relax once in the polar regions, and the artificial wall of security which you have so painstakingly erected about yourself may give way without warning." I don't think Bird would ever say he relaxed, and yet his artificial walls did indeed begin to crumble. Perhaps the single most dramatic instance was during what was supposed to be a routine wind speed reading. He opens the door to his shack and steps into a blizzard, a solid white death. He writes that millions of tiny pellets exploded in my eyes, stinging like BB shot. He writes that in the senseless explosion of sound, you are reduced to a crawling margin of a disintegrating world. Nothing will so quickly isolate a man. He steps out into the blizzard, and the gale scrambles.
He goes out in this? I wouldn't go out in this situation.
Sense of surroundings, and in an instant, the door back into the shack freezes shut.
There's another man who lived alone in the cold, slightly less famous than Richard Bird, slightly more bizarre. Christopher Knight lived as a hermit in the woods of northern Maine, without permanent shelter and almost completely isolated from other people for 27 years.
Damn.
He stayed in a camp built in a near invisible clearing between rocks in the forest. He stole from nearby houses.
He even got clocks there. Look at that.
Visible clearing between rocks in the forest. He stole from nearby houses. He lived there.
I was about to say, where did he get the batteries and stuff like this from? But okay, it was explained.
For almost 3 decades and only spoke to another person once. A startled "Hi!" as he encountered an unexpected hiker. Knight was so determined to be alone and so paranoid of his camp being found that he never lit a fire. Not once.
How did he survive?
He survived 27 winters of Maine outside without heat, with scavenged camp materials and a single-minded determination not to die.
Okay.
Winters in Maine, though not Antarctic cold, can drop to negative 40 degrees and below, and yet somehow Knight's strategy for survival relied almost exclusively on determination. Far from hibernating, he feared that the winters were so cold, the chill so brutal, that if he was asleep during the coldest hours, he may never wake up.
Yeah.
Instead, during the harshest freezes, Knight forced himself awake at 2 a.m. and paced around his camp for hours, pacing until daybreak. Sleep was the enemy. Relaxation.
So he sleeps during the day and goes as active during the night so that he can survive it.
If he let himself submit to the cold, he'd be lost.
Yeah.
Richard Bird didn't die when the door to his shack froze shut. He remembered a shovel that he left outside, managed to brace himself against his ventilation pipes, wedged the handle under the grip of the door, and strained until it popped open. Collapsing inside, he reflected that there were actually harder ways to die than freezing to death.
Yeah.
A couple more minutes out.
Hello, Alice. How are you doing? What are you scared of? Are you afraid of the cold?
Out in the cold, and his senses would have given way to a lush numbness, a desensitization that makes dying seem easy. The closest Bird came to dying was not easy, though, and it was not as simple as freezing to death. Instead, it started slowly. He noted in his diary one day that he felt strangely depressed, though nothing particular seemed wrong. This feeling...
Did he die of depression, or what happened? What? I'm afraid of the hot? Really? Are you? You're afraid of the hot? Are you afraid? Are you afraid? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Restlessness continued. His ability to do simple tasks diminished until one day he finds that his head is pounding so hard he is completely unable to move.
Damn.
The stove, as it turns out, hasn't been
Akai, I'm afraid.
properly.
Oh my god.
Carbon monoxide from the burning fuel has been filling the shack with a slow stream of poison, gradually robbing Bird of all of his faculties. And so now, in the Antarctic winter, he faces an impossible choice. Continue suffering from the poison that leaves him more bedridden every day, or turn off the stove, the thing that was poisoning him, the only source of heat in his world.
Damn. But is the blizzard still there? He could, like, how I manage in winter is I open the window really, like, I open it completely for like 20 minutes and then I close it again and then I put heating back on for a little bit until it's kind of warm again. Could he do something like that?
Christopher Knight, the hermit, was as close to death as he ever came months into a particularly brutal winter. He says he saw a literal Lady Death, a cloaked woman who appeared in his camp.
Oh damn,
He was out of food,
he's gone. He's in Game of Thrones now.
To death in his bed. He recognizes now that Lady Death was probably a hallucination, probably some fevered vision, but he isn't entirely sure.
What?
In his darker moments, he says that he still thinks about walking into the woods, sitting down in the cold, and letting Lady Death take him.
Damn.
While Bird lay unable to move in his shack in the Antarctic, he measured the cold by how far the frost crept up the walls. The temperature sank impossibly, 70 below outside his shack. His
Damn.
room was engulfed by ice. I lived 1,000 years, he wrote, and all of them were agonizing. Bird's original plans were to stay 8 months in the shack. Even in the depths of his poisoning, even facing near certain death, he refused to tell base camp how poorly he was
doing. Do you hear
doing.
that? Someone is like knocking on the wall.
Caused by a mix of practicality and
No, I cannot hear it anymore. Am I getting crazy?
Tried. He feared that those who tried to reach him would perish on the way.
It was a knocking. Someone was like hammering something.
Would not allow himself to admit just how dire things had become.
Hammering.
Fortunately for him,
I don't know, a painting.
the men he was corresponding with noticed the steady decline of his Morse code. After 4 months, it was nearly unintelligible. Dots and dashes betrayed just how.
Now you can hear it. Maybe only barely, but you are able to hear it. It's not my imagination.
How close Admiral Richard Byrd was to death. After 5 months, he was rescued.
What is happening?
Both men almost died in their self-imposed.
Is it coming from above or beside my apartment? Is this the way how my neighbor is complaining about me?
In that time,
that I'm talking too much?
Also experienced something close to euphoria. Richard Byrd writes rapturously about the spectacle of the aurora. Its undulating.
He must be feared that I will stream for another hour. But jokes on him. I will stream for at least 2 more hours. Okay, I'm sorry.
Good versus evil. There are stretches of time when he feels the cosmos are telling him what it means to be
I like talking. You like talking? Oh, talking Akai. Oh, okay.
Witnessed the scene denied to all other men.
Yeah.
For Christopher Knight, a man who sought isolation to a more extreme extent than almost anyone else.
But my neighbors probably doesn't.
Offered the complete opposite. A sort of divine pause. The only time of the year when everything stopped.
I mean, it's almost 10 p.m. here.
Or even the rustling of the leaves. After he was forcibly removed from his forest hideout, it seemed that the memory of winters lost wore heaviest on him.
Akai is the professional yapper of my loyal listener.
Somewhere in between quiet
Exactly.
and solitude. What I miss most is stillness.
What? This was too much for my brain.
Cold can be an individual antagonist, needle-fingered, intimate, but just as often it serves as a society-level threat. Rare are the people who choose to go out into a freeze unsheltered. Much more often, the cold comes to us. You don't have to think back far for an example of this.
What?
In 2021, a series of disastrous winter storms hit the U.S. In many areas, saw huge numbers of people.
Oh my goodness.
Texas, most infamously of all, had an
Texas? In Texas? Isn't Texas so warm? Like really warm?
Complete breakdown of its electrical grid during its coldest period in living memory. But it was not, as a point of fact, unprecedented. 10 years earlier, a series of blizzards caused a series of similar rolling
in
blackouts across the
Texas?
state,
Recommendations made by experts on how to properly winterize and avoid further catastrophes.
Or is it because of cold in other countries it's cutting off the power line?
And then a decade later, it happened again.
And
now,
again.
to someone who lives
and
further
again.
north, the temperature during Texas's freeze may not seem that cold. It almost never dipped below 0. The absolute chilliest days wouldn't be anything unusual in Minnesota or Maine. But of course, the ability to withstand cold on a societal level has little to do with individual toughness, and the numerical temperature matters much less than the resources a place has put into withstanding it. Texas's collapse is instead a reminder that the cold
There is snow.
will find
Oh, wait. I think there was snow.
withstanding it. Texas's collapse.
Yeah, there is snow. What? Texas? No, I want Michigan. Why? Wait,
Instead, a
what?
reminder that the cold
Snow in Texas. I did not know that. Wait. Those are not knockings, those are fireworks. Is something going on today? Did I miss something?
cold will find the weakness at every point of infrastructure. Force
Oh,
open the
no, I'm
cracks
pretty sure this
otherwise
earlier was
ignored.
knocking.
Many of the deaths in Texas weren't from simple hypothermia, but the
But those
carbon
right now are
monoxide poisoning that
fireworks.
resulted from improvising home heaters or even fires that spread from
Damn.
used fireplaces. Water pipes burst, streetlights blackened, people were forced close together in shelters despite the ongoing presence of a global pandemic. Much like COVID, the cold
Yeah, this must be crazy. COVID and power outage in the cold. I would be so mad. Oh my goodness.
exposes the vulnerabilities in our systems that were always present and exposes the inhumanity of the people who profit by
What?
ignoring those vulnerabilities.
What the
And
hell?
when I look at Texas, I don't see a freak accident, but the beginning of a trend. Summers are going to keep
Bruh,
getting hotter,
those companies, I would
winters keep
sue
getting
them.
colder, and the
What the
building
hell?
blocks that make up our
I would
society
sue
are
them.
fundamentally not prepared for the climate hell that we're staring down the barrel of. But you gotta admit, makes a great story.
It
This is
does.
the basis for Bong Joon-ho's
Probably.
Snowpiercer, a movie set in an apocalyptic ice age brought on by climate change.
Snowpiercer.
Also the background quote-unquote science for The Day After Tomorrow, my personal favorite big disaster movie.
I haven't seen that, but it looks
Also
interesting.
the context for the survival sim Frostpunk.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Let's go. I played through it. I had so many fails, but I made it one time. So I'm gonna stick to that one time. And you can say I made it. We don't look at the mistakes. We only look at Devin, because that's what counts. Yeah, how it ends, and we ended it with a win.
Enough to ask, what if SimCity, but with
Okay, sadly we don't have the resources to win the lawsuit.
Frost
We do have the resources. I just go in there. No, I step there. Tuck, 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 tuck. And then what I do is this. I show them the magic. Do you see that? I will show them that. They will expect that I will do it like that. You know, that I grab this word. But I will do it like that. They will not expect that. And then we win the lawsuit. That's how easy it goes.
takes place in an alternate history 19th century in which an unexplained sudden ice age decimates most of Europe, leaving scant few wandering bands of people and even fewer coal-powered generators that maybe, if you plan things...
Wasn't there also Frostpunk 2 now? I haven't looked at it yet. I don't know if it's good.
But Frostpunk is not, at least initially, a game that lauds
Oh, as good as the
easy
first
victories
part.
in civil engineering. Although the game can be min-maxed to perfection, my experiences with it were far more like Jack London's story, a series of ominous dominoes toppling one after another.
Yeah.
Except in this case,
It's not one person, it's a city, and in this case, I didn't even realize they were falling until far too late.
Yes.
Managing your city is a challenge of managing many different resources and conditions, a juggling act of making sure you have enough wood.
My issue was always that I got kicked out, even though things were about to go better. I always got kicked out, even though things were okay. But I didn't like the way I managed the city.
Steel and coal, enough houses so people don't have to sleep unsheltered, enough medical clinics that the sick can recover and quickly get back to work. For me, it was always about two things too many. I'd be really proud of the amount of wood I had stockpiled, and then realize that our food reserves had been totally used up.
Yeah.
At multiple points, I had to turn almost the entirety of the city's labor force into a coal gathering machine, ignoring every other problem because, I mean, if we ran out of coal to keep the heat on, none of the other problems in the city would matter. My adherence to a moral city, my refusal to enforce 14-hour shifts or put children to work, meant that we were constantly on the press.
Yeah. We, of course, also refuse those inhumane conditions.
Precipice of disaster. Playing Frostpunk feels like living out the tiny catastrophes of tobacco fire, making a mistake as simple as dropping a match in the snow.
No way we would ever do
watching
that.
Those mistakes ripple out to hundreds. Early on, I had a team of explorers find a defunct coal mine. They offered me a choice. Should we salvage a modest amount of supplies from the mine now with the potential of reactivating it later? Or should we completely break down the operation, seize everything now, and just hope for another consistent source of fuel to present itself in the future? I generally pride myself on my delayed gratification, my ability to hold off on immediate rewards for a larger prize in the future. But I looked at this situation and was completely overwhelmed with the immediate gains. 200 pieces of coal, wood, and steel, an absolute fortune. Later in the game, when I had my generator cranked so high that it burned 200 pieces of coal in a matter of seconds, I thought back to that coal mine. As the temperature plummeted further and further below zero, I realized that I had knocked over the first domino hours before without even thinking about it. As I scrambled to keep my city at a livable temperature,
yeah, we remember those things.
Forsaking all other
but that's a good thing about the game, you know? You start thinking more about consequences.
Resources and every standard of civilization in the face of that white death. I had a sudden flashback to a story I heard as a kid. One that stuck with me for probably 2
Little House
now. It is, hilariously enough, from the Little House series by Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh, a cute doggo.
Plum Creek, Ma and Pa are going to town, but Pa says that he's got to bring the wood inside before he does, because a blizzard is going to roll through. He tells his daughters a story about some kids who didn't have enough wood inside, and it was too cold to go out in the blizzard. He says that as their cabin got colder, the kids ran out of wood completely. They destroyed the wood box, then the chairs, then all the furniture in the house in a desperate attempt to keep the fire alive. It wasn't enough, though. When their parents finally got home, Pa said that the kids were froze stark stiff.
Damn.
The story causes a sort of mania in Laura and her sister, who are so worried about freezing in their house that they bring in all of the wood from their woodpile outside, much to the bemusement of Pa. The Little House series often spoke frankly about the perils of 19th century life in the Midwest, but I don't remember anything else as dark as this story.
This reminds me of the old German tales. Like, they are really dark. And I don't like that people sugarcoat them so much, because originally they are actually really dark. And you have to think that people, like parents, actually told those stories to the children. They told their children that some dude was beheaded, or some dude was, you know, they cut off the fingers because he did something wrong, because he stole and stuff like that. People told those stories to the kids, you know. Crazy. Well, Yeah, I don't know all of the stories. Oh, well, I probably know most of them. Cannot recall them right now. But I remember that they were really dark. And I heard some of, well, I heard the soft version first, and then afterwards I heard the more brutal version. Yeah. How long was this ago? This was a long time ago. Yeah. But yeah, you probably know what I mean, right? Probably.
A couple lines, I could clearly picture the kids' desperation turning to hypothermia, as even their furniture didn't provide enough fuel for the fire to stay alight. It was only in researching this video that I learned Wilder's original version of the story, their non-fiction autobiography, is even more detailed and even more horrifying.
Damn.
The basic setup remains the same. Kids at home,
Folklore is my drug.
but the simple froze stark stiff is replaced by detailed descriptions. The kids attempted to leave the house after their stovepipe collapsed. All 5 were found in a snowbank nearby. 3 were dead, frozen completely. The oldest, a 12-year-old girl, had survived and managed to keep the youngest, a baby, alive by swaddling it in her coat. Though the baby was barely chilled, the 12-year-old's limbs were frozen. Pa said that she screamed as they thawed her arms and eventually amputated a leg.
Damn.
The version of the story I knew, the one that stuck in my head for decades, was somehow the more child-friendly telling. I can't believe how much worse.
Yeah, it's like the German tales.
It's hardly the only time Wilder brought up the cold. In fact, it seems like the biggest threat her family ever faced. Its presence always met with a dramatic darkening of the tone in what are ostensibly children's books.
Yes.
In The Long Winter, one in which her whole family are
The Grimm Brothers.
She wrote, "There were no more lessons. There was nothing in the world but cold and dark and work and coarse brown
like that's
bread.
The Grimm Brothers, not that story, but it's the German stories.
There, outside the walls, waiting sometimes, then pouncing.
I think they wrote
shaking
it.
the house,
Did they write it? I think it was
snarling and screaming in rage.
them writing it.
She did not ever feel awake.
I'm not
She
sure.
felt beaten by the cold and the storms. She knew she was dull and stupid.
Damn.
She could not wake up. Tales of the cold are almost always made
Neckquack,
long,
I'm sorry.
harsh periods of shelter and depression, mixed with tiny victories against the immovable force. Laura's family sings together while in the midst of the blizzard. Generator upgrades and Frostpunk bring brief periods of livability. In The Long Dark, a survival game set in an apocalyptic winter, achievements are minuscule compared to other games in the genre. There's no fortress to construct in The Long Dark, farms to fully automate, or escape vehicles to build. Instead, moments of victory are sewing together a slightly warmer coat, finding a whetstone, lighting a fire.
Okay.
The Long Dark is a pure survival game. Although there are wolves and bears,
Didn't Hololive members, or was it Niji Sanji, play this
the end
game?
doesn't look so different from the beginning.
Looks
Unlike most
familiar.
enemies in video games or antagonists in
Frostpunk.
stories, there is no
I do
conquering
recognize
goal.
this screen.
You can merely survive it.
This is real life. Oh, is it? Yeah.
Cold is a bizarre force, though, because although it can obviously be deadly, it also preserves, not just in food, but in people.
What?
Most of you probably have heard of cryonics, the pseudoscientific idea that if you freeze a body now, we'll be able to resuscitate it far in the future.
Oh, those
Cryonics
people.
are basically impossible to prove effective with our current technology, which I guess is the point. Cases of survival in impossible cold are not. Far from our popular sayings related to the temperature of death, cold, dead hands, and the like, medical wisdom actually goes in the reverse direction. You're not dead until you're warm and dead. Cardiac arrest generally means death in less than 30 minutes, but if you're frozen, that time can be multiplied, with successful resuscitations after hours. A doctor colloquially known as Professor Popsicle has said, "We've learned that
I'm
there
not
really
so
is
confident
no
about that
temperature
though.
so low you shouldn't try and save someone." The cold's ability to preserve lends it an almost mythic quality. The same force can maintain the life in a brain frozen for hours, keep a neon-jacketed body locked to the same point of Everest for decades, and mummify a man so effectively that 5,000 years later we can tell what he ate hours before he died.
What?
On a purely theoretical level, You have to admire the cold. It is so straightforward.
Can't they revive him now as well? Since he's frozen.
So ruthlessly efficient at what it does. It is.
They can just ask him, hey, what did you eat yesterday?
When you're experiencing
My dude.
it.
Oh, hello
road
Candy,
sound
how are
story
you
of the cold,
doing?
one so absurd I have to include it, is from Howard Somervell, a mountaineer in the early 20th century. Somervell was on one of the earlier attempts to summit Everest, but as the team climbed higher and higher up the mountain, he found himself seized with coughing fits. Somervell eventually coughed so hard that he felt something stick in his throat. He actually begins to choke. He can't
Did his throat froze?
call out for help. He sits down in the snow to die.
Oh,
Finally,
damn.
manages to hack the thing in his throat out into the snow. It was a piece of his own larynx, frostbitten and detached from his innards.
Oh my
He was
goodness.
fine, by the way. Made it back down the mountain, lived another
Doing good.
50 years.
How about you? I'm doing fine.
Left
Doing
a
fine.
little bit.
Long day, but we are free for now. After the stream, technically, I have to get back to work. Technically, because there's still things to do. But I can do this at like 2 a.m. or something like that. When no one is around, so I can just work on my own and no one will annoy me.
Behind.
Yeah, we'll be
Almost
fine
90 years after Somervell's adventure, a Friday in late
That's my
November
plan
2009,
for
I
now.
went on a trip to Grayson Highlands, Virginia with some friends and their
And I will not walk so long. I will walk
Our
for like
plan
30
was to
minutes.
hike in, camp a
And then
couple
tomorrow
nights,
I have to
explore the
walk more
trails while
again.
we were there. Grayson Highlands is
Get some,
gorgeous, by the way.
getting some
Most
things
of the
done.
mountains are heavily forested.
But these are bare, with long sections where you can walk along clear ridge lines. There are rocky outcroppings and beautiful overlooks. One of my favorite places in the state to hike. We arrived around noon.
Do you like
Started to
hiking?
walk. It was chilly, but in the fun sort of
Okay,
way,
but what about the
activity of
golden unique
ascent keeping
thingy?
us warm.
The
It was
golden
exciting.
unique
The wind
thingy?
occasionally gusted hard enough to almost knock us over.
Which golden unique
I
thingy?
can't remember exactly when the temperature started to drop.
You mean my
I do know
tail?
sundown would have been about 5 p.m.
I don't know.
I just remember that those
Wait, this sounds really wrong. Wait. To clarify. To clarify. Wait, how do I unlock this? I'm talking about this tail. This one. You know, I felt like I'm in need to explain myself. Oh wait, I have to go back. Where was I? Here? Was I here? Kind of. A little bit more to the right. Maybe like that. I will lock it now. Okay, should be fine, right? Yeah. I felt like I have to clarify what kind of tail I'm speaking about. Yeah.
those gusts started to cut straight through the light windbreaker I was wearing. My flexible gloves didn't seem to retain any heat at all.
Is he using one of those jump suits? Is it called like that? The only tail I can touch without being sent to the shadow realm.
I was simply unprepared.
Yeah.
I had the equipment needed for a sunny fall hike in a southern state, not an overcast mountain.
The shadow realm. Yes, exactly.
And a constantly howling wind. To once again quote Jack London, the forecast for that day told me that it was cold and uncomfortable, and that was all. It did not lead me to consider my weaknesses as a creature affected by temperature. I remember getting to our campsite, reaching into my tent bag, and being completely unable to determine.
But isn't this movie again that he showed in the beginning?
That would form the frame. I dumped the whole thing out on the
with
ground.
the doggo.
Picked up the poles to snap them together, but simply couldn't make the connections. 12 years out, I couldn't tell you if the problem was exclusively physical or if my brain had also somehow been deadened.
Damn.
What I know is I stood there and made no progress, increasingly frustrated and alarmed that I couldn't do the single action I needed to give myself shelter. Within minutes, my dad, who was also on the hike, realized what was going on, gave me his gloves, snapped the poles
it's
together,
another story.
and staked the
Okay.
tent to the ground.
They
I
just
more or less fell
use the same
inside,
footage.
got in my sleeping bag at what
Okay.
couldn't have been past 6, and immediately went to sleep.
Wait,
I
what?
half remember being woken a little while later, again by my dad, who gave me some food warmed by a camp stove and hot chocolate. I passed out again.
Looking back, I think about Christopher Knight, who forced himself awake at the coldest parts of the night, stubbornly paced to keep his body functioning and warm. I failed just about every test the cold threw at me. I am possibly over-dramatizing the situation, but in my memory, that is the closest I have ever felt to death. It really felt like my dad saved my life. The next morning, we all got...
Is this his story right now, or is this some book story? I'm a little bit confused right now. What's going on here? I thought I was doing something.
A little shaken by how unexpectedly extreme the previous night had been. We first hesitantly, then enthusiastically pitched the idea of leaving early. I wasn't the only one who had a bad time. There are many places on Earth with permafrost.
Permafrost.
Frozen soil and sediment beneath the surface that is theoretically permanent.
Yeah.
Winter, summer. This
yeah.
cold.
Oh, this looks so cool.
Plants and organisms on that
I never seen it. I heard of it, and I saw like ice, but not things like this. This looks so cool. What?
Preserving them.
Thought it was the description of a video game. I don't know.
But as with so many things, our naming of permafrost assumed a level of stability we denied the world.
This looks so surreal. Is this the ice? Is this the ice?
For many years now, permafrost has been thawing, and with it resurfaced startling reminders of the past.
Yeah, like sicknesses, diseases.
In Spitsbergen, an island in Norway, human bones appear to be rising out of the ground. A 1600s whaling graveyard, preserved in the ice for 400 years, is now seeing the permafrost exhume the bodies it kept hidden. Humans, whales, pieces...
Wait, there's also... Wait, what was the name? Ice Finger. Yeah, look.
In Antarctica...
I think this is really fascinating. He reminded me of it. The finger of death, it's called. Wait, look what happens if... I think this looks is so fascinating. Wait, where is it? Are they showing it? Probably here somewhere.
Is a brinicle.
Look at this thing.
Supercooled water sinking from above.
It's going down, and once it's touching the ground, it's going crazy.
Forming.
What are you reacting to? Oh. We are reacting to fear of the cold. Today we reacted to a lot of fear videos. So we wanted to find our fear, and we didn't find anything, unfortunately, so far. So yeah. That is and we also discovered that I'm a really weird being. Like, what was it? The fear of the dark. Like, people see like people in the dark. Usually living beings are avoiding that place or trying to go around it. Meanwhile, me, the unnormal dragon, when I see a shadow figure or something in my house, you are imagining things sometimes. What I'm doing is I'm going to it. I'm going directly to this spot. Because I know there's nothing there. And if there's something there, then I messed up. I fucked up. But yeah. That is a waterfall turned into the forbidden water slide. Yeah. Is that a real finger? No. It's like ice. This is the fear mythos. Yeah. I'm scared of zombies and being followed by a stranger. Oh. But isn't the zombie also a stranger? Sorry.
Of ships, all
maybe you are just being scared of being followed, because zombies are also following you. Yeah.
From the earth. In previous years, the permafrost acted as a sort of shield. Not only would bodies remain permanently frozen, but so too would any diseases or dangers they held with
diseases. Like, I remember, when was it? I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when scientists discovered in the ice, they discovered that there were like, how do you call it? Bacteria bacteria, viruses. They were all viruses, like the black. How was it called? The Black Death, the pest. I don't know. And imagine this getting into your water. So yeah, people are really scared of everything defrosting up there because it's bringing diseases back, and you don't know because it's in the water. You know, it might just be there. Maybe that's something you should be scared of. The climate change.
That shield weakens. A small-scale
keep those diseases away.
Broke out in Russia when a heat wave exposed the frozen corpses of 75-year-old reindeer from the permafrost.
Damn.
Back in Spitsbergen, corpses from a century ago still held the full sequence of the 1918 flu. In Longyearbyen, Norway, the northernmost town in the world, there's a joke that residents are not allowed to die. In reality, this refers to burial. The town will not allow corpses from today to freeze instead of decomposing, potentially holding diseases in perpetuity and unleashing them on archaeologists centuries from now. And while that's a noble effort, the deadliest thing is already bound up with all the bodies in the permafrost: carbon. Normally, the frozen ground prevents plants, animals, even humans from releasing their carbon back into the atmosphere. The cold keeps the remains and the carbon they carry. But as the frost thaws, that carbon is released too.
Back into the atmosphere.
That in turn increases the global warming, causing the thaw in the first place, accelerating the heating, thawing process in a vicious cycle. Like in Carpenter's The Thing, the cold left undisturbed would have held the threat as long as necessary. Unlike The Thing, once
it's a chicken nugget, a big chicken nugget.
They cannot be confined. No matter where we are, we will feel the impermanence of the permafrost.
Really big chicken nugget.
It's little surprise that the coldest naturally occurring temperature on Earth was recorded in Antarctica. It's either 128 or 135.
Okay. 92. That's still crazy. Damn.
Below, depending on if
it's almost 0.0, like null.
Ground level or satellite measurements. In any case, the continent fulfills its promise as the end of nowhere, an inferno of ice, the Earth's underworld. The coldest naturally occurring place in space, as far as
Boomerang Nebula,
is the Boomerang Nebula. It's part of the constellation Centaurus. It's about 5,000 light years away, and thanks to the expelling of ultra-cold gas from a dying star, maintains a temperature of about 1 degree Kelvin, or 1 degree above absolute zero.
Absolute zero. That's what it was called.
Fahrenheit. This is less than half of the temperature.
Wait, it was 200? I thought it was 170. Oh.
159 degrees.
I was a little bit off, apparently.
This is less than half of the temperature of the vacuum of
well,
space
it's fine.
in general.
You can make mistakes sometimes.
2 degrees Kelvin, thanks to background radiation from the Big Bang. But the absolute coldest place in the universe, as far as we know, the coldest temperature anywhere has ever been, ever, is back on Earth. In labs across the world for the past century, scientists have pushed temperatures lower. 1 Kelvin may be the lowest temperature in space, but we continue to go colder.
But why?
Far below 1, within thousandths and millionths of a degree of absolute zero.
Why would you do that?
At the speed of light, it seems like something we may be able to get unbelievably close to, but never reach.
Yeah, but why do you want to do that? Seriously, why do you want to do that? For what purpose?
Cold itself, in terms of physics, is defined by absence. The absence of energy, the stilling of particles. The lower the temperature, the slower the particle movement within. In the theoretical, impossible object at absolute zero, there is no movement whatsoever. Every particle within the object would be at rest. In a poetic sense, the hermit Christopher Knight was correct from a physics standpoint when describing the quiet of winter.
Crazy.
Somewhere in between quiet and solitude. What I miss most is stillness.
Stillness.
It will take until the end of the universe for natural temperatures to best those created in a lab on Earth. When every star has gone out and every black hole has evaporated and the radiation from the Big Bang fizzles away, all the nothing that exists will reach the same temperature.
I wonder what will happen when this happens at some point. I'm really interested if humans are still alive and what will they try to prevent this from happening. When there's technically no energy source anymore. Will everyone just live basically in total darkness? Or will we invent our own cycle of energy? Like, I don't know if this is possible. In theory, it shouldn't be possible, but I don't know. Will we invent the next Big Bang? Who knows?
Impossibly small decimal. Still, not
What?
absolute zero, but about as close as anything will ever get.
Fire.
We, as humans, are inherently fallible. We build houses with cracks in the walls, strike matches that singe and fall from our fingertips, seek solitude without ensuring self-sufficiency.
I think I don't have any matches
for
here
our survival, we
in
are
my
generally insulated
apartment.
from these mistakes. A cracked wall, a
Will
singed
be
finger
able to
is a
create the
setback,
allied master computer? I wonder.
The
I don't know.
will strip
Cannot
that
tell you.
insulation
Maybe we
bare,
will.
remove our layers of protection, show us how desperate a situation really is. The
Actually, thinking about it right now, probably not. I just remembered the story of, was it NVIDIA? I think it was NVIDIA. Let me Google this. NVIDIA quantum computing. Oh yeah, this was also crazy. Did you see Wall-E? Did you saw Wall-E? Wait. Look. They made like a ceremony, like a conference. And they had Wall-E. Wait, where can we see him? Where was he? Somewhere at the end. Oh, wait, it was somewhere here. It was somewhere here. Wall-E, where are you? Is it here? Yeah, here, look. We have Wall-E. We have Wall-E in real life before GTA 6. Can you believe this? Oh, I'm gonna go now because I wanted to stop by and say hi. Have a good rest of your stream. Cutie, damn. And have a good day. Thank you, Candy. Thank you. Feel free to check by anytime. We will play some more games later on. And hello, Ghostface. How are you doing? Bom dia. Bom dia.
Partnership.
Wait, let's check out Wall-E. Wait, there he is.
Take a look at Newton.
So they are partnering, NVIDIA is partnering with Google DeepMind and Disney Research. And they invented Wall-E. Look at him, he's so cute. We got Wall-E in real life before GTA 6. Can you believe that? Wall-E in real life before GTA 6.
How are you doing? How do you like your new physics engine? You like it?
You see this? It's crazy.
Yeah, I bet. I know. Tactile feed.
We literally got Wall-E before GTA 6. I cannot believe my freaking eyes. When I saw this, I was like, what? And it's so cute. I love him. Look at him. He's so cute. Look at him.
This is how we're going to train robots in a...
I would get one myself if those things wouldn't cost like $100,000.
Just so you know, Blue
He's
has,
so cutie too. Thank you. Thank you. I'm good, and you? I'm doing fine.
Look how smart you are.
Bonjour, Alice.
Okay. All right. Hey, Blue, listen. How about let's take him home? Let's finish this keynote. Our robotics has been making enormous progress. And today we're announcing...
Look how cute he is. He's looking around. Oh, I love this little robot. We got Wall-E in real life now. Can you believe that? Oh wait, this is not what I wanted to show you. Wait, the supercomputer, quantum computer in NVIDIA. It was not this one. It was a little bit older. Maybe if I go for meme. I cannot find it. It was something about a ship from them. So I don't know. I cannot find it right now. But basically, what happened was like, so in quantum science, scientists are trying to get a ship working for centuries now. For centuries, because you know you want this thing to work, but it's not working because for some reason you cannot go on a scale where it's possible to work. Is it this one? Is she talking about that? Maybe. Let's check it out.
This crazy new quantum computing chip. It can solve
Yeah.
a problem in 5 minutes that would take one of the fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. But
Yes.
that problem was a benchmark problem called RCS. It was chosen specifically
Yes.
because it's really hard for a supercomputer, which is still better at basically everything practical. The real reason we should care about quantum computers and this new chip is less about beating supercomputers and more about doing new things, like really accurate simulations of nature at a quantum
Yes.
level that could be used for drug discovery or battery development or more. And this new chip matters for that because of how it handles mistakes. One of the biggest challenges with quantum computing is errors.
She's explaining this way better than I do. I can't believe this.
Google's chip has 105 qubits, much smaller than the largest quantum processors.
Yes.
But it's the first to show the number of errors reduce as you add more qubits, which could be a really big deal for the future of bigger quantum computers.
But she's not
If you wanna
going
learn more
into
about
it.
Why this all matters? Marquez Brownlee and I made a longer video.
She's not going into it. Okay, so basically what happened was, so NVIDIA had a ship, right? As she explained, they made a cool ship for quantum computers. And scientists tried to get the ship for centuries. And they apparently already had it ready, but they didn't told anyone about it. And when the scientists were asking NVIDIA, like, hey, could you maybe give us that chip? We want to buy it so we can use it for quantum computers. They were like, no, we're gonna use it for ourselves. Thank you, bye. So yeah, I don't know about that master computer when humans are working like that. They are not working together, they are working against each other. Can you believe this? Like, what the hell, man? What the hell? Yeah. Okay, anyway, back to the video. I sidetrack a little bit too much.
But to depict the cold as malicious, antagonistic, is to limit its power. The cold is not an anthropocentric force. It doesn't care one way or another about its effect on us.
Yeah.
It was present before anything existed.
Yeah.
It will remain after everything is done.
Technically. I'm sitting on my hoodie again. Damn it. Maybe I should take it off. I don't know. Technically, the heat was the first thing that existed. Because back then, the universe was so hot that no elements were able to form. And it took a billion of years until it cooled off into the temperature it is today. That's why... Okay, no. I will not... If I start explaining it, I will probably keep going, explaining things for the next 10 minutes. I will shut my mouth. Watch a documentary about it. Wait, what? That's the end? Oh, damn. Well. Good videos from Jacob Geller. Check him out. Yeah, crazy. So, I can't wait to I cannot speak. To play Bleach. So, what we are gonna do now is I'm gonna open a new game called Yukenkana. This is a Japanese learning game. Let me change the title on Twitch. Learning Japanese. And you can Kana. Okay. I changed it there. I cannot really start the game. I just have to change it here in the screen as well. And of course I have to add the game screen. You cannot really hear it, but you cannot see it yet. There we go. Okay. You can Kana. That's the name of the game. If you wanna learn some Japanese, this might be the way to go. Or you use Duolingo, whatever you want. But we are continuing our journey now. As always, we will go for 2 letters. And then, yeah, and then it will be the end of this stream. Should I set it up now? Like on Twitch, it will continue. On YouTube, we will switch to another stream, which I think I will set it up now. Nah, I can do this after the learning. Let's do this after the learning. I will set it up, and then basically we will just jump over to the other stream so that we have it separated. The Bleach gaming and the reacting and Japanese learning. I want those to be separated, so yeah. And also I will have 5 minutes, about 5 minutes to check on work stuff really quickly. Yeah. Okay. So what do we have here? We have ha, he, who, he, and who. Jokes on you. I already know those letters. Okay, let's finish this. This is who. Ha. Damn it. I messed up. I'm flexing my skills and that's what I get for it. I'm messing up. Okay. Ha. Basically got this thing and then yo. Yo. Okay. Ha. Ha. I'm laughing. Can't you see? Ha. There we go. Okay. Let's speedrun this. I really want to play Bleach. I want to play it. Okay. I have to calm down. I'm sorry. Okay. Ha. I'm gonna speedrun this now. I'm sorry if you're learning or want to learn, but I'm going to speedrun. I will have no mercy. This is he. Like Hime. Hime. Hime means princess. Princess. He. He. I'm sorry. Okay, this sounded really cringe. So I will just pretend that nothing happened. He. There. He. Next letter. Give me the next one. Next one is fu. Fu. According to Duolingo. Haha. I knew it. As in fool. Yeah. You fool. But this letter is really complicated. Okay, suck. But why would we do this? And then go like that. Okay, wait. Let's just finish it. Boom. Foo. There we go. Foo. What? Oh. He. Okay. Foo. Foo. Okay. Next is he. Like he. Okay. Let's go. This one is easy. Wait. Okay. There we go. There we go. This is hair. But what? Okay. Ha. Where's ha? There. Hair. Here. Ha. He. Hu. Oh. Hair. Fu. Okay. Where's hair? There. There we go. The next one is ho. Ho. Oh, yes. Interesting. This one is being written completely different than interesting. Okay. Ho. Ho. This is taking a lot of strokes. Ho. Oh, damn it. Ho. Ho. There we go. Okay, let's speedrun this boy. Ho. Okay. Fu. Ho. Ah. He. Ho. Ho. Alright, look at that. Easy. Okay, now we are in the reviews. As always, we will go from right to left. He, hoi, and ha. Line in what? Okay, this is, then she fu. Then he fu ka. German what? Uhe. Okay. Ora. Su. Ho. And then we just have a ho. He. She he. He he. Agawa. Huh? Oh. Steal. Do. Ha. Okay. Oh, wait, this is Safu. Tefu. And Fuko. Treasury. Interesting. He. Huh? Isn't this Ke? It's not hair. Oh, it's cool. I'm stupid. Oh my god, I made a mistake. Kuhi. What expenses? Ihi. Ahi. Damn it. Okay. Honey. This is a knee? Yes, okay. Goo. Will not make the same mistake again. Okay. The last one is just ha. Okay. She, he. He, you. Oh, you. Yeah. She, her. She, her. So, her. Heka. I'm a heka. Yeah, we have to do this again. I will try again. Yes. Okay, right to left. Kuho. Suho. Uho. Damn, okay. Calm down. Kisetsu fu. Seasonal winds. Okay. Fuseika ku. Okay. Futoeki. Antifreeze. Oh, this is fitting for the video we watched, the freezing one. Koinoha means. Okay. Iki Hagasu. Didn't we had this one before at some point? Well, okay. Hado Setsu. Hado. This reminds me of Bleach. Why are you doing this to me? Okay. Akuhei. Pizza. Sokihei. Lancer. Kakuheiki. Nuclear. Okay, I don't think I will ever need this word. Iyuchi. Flint. Ekohiki. Wait, did I write it correctly? Yes. Inu brother. Inu? But why? Ueno? Isn't Ueno's sister or something like that? No, what was Ueno? I think it was her name. Ueno Hito. Superior. Oh. Okay. This is a K. Ho. Warning gun. Okay. Calm down, game. Calm down. I'm not gonna hurt you. You don't have to treat me with nuclear weapons and guns. Because the Ino is my brother? Why? Are you in Full Metal Alchemist? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Kiha. Let's make it through this test. Fukeiki. Ikohiki. Heihoka. Sui Heiki. Yes. He. Was it with the D? Or not? Was it like this? Hichi? G? Yeah, it was with the D. Damn it. Ufu. Kohe. Fu. Okay, so far so good. K. Ho. Hey. K. Ha. Hai. Sai. Okay, it was the right one. I ko tai. Kai. What? Ka. Hei. Ka. Shi. No ho. Go he. To he. Haha! Look at me. Okay. Hose. Gakufu. That's the end. We made it! Okay, one more. And then we can play Bleach. Oh, I cannot wait for it. Okay, what do we have here? This is Ba. B. I don't know what the food turned into. Was it Boo? I think it was Boo. Okay. Bear and Bo. Okay, let's go. We already know these, but we're gonna speed run through it. And we're gonna play some Bleach. Ba. Baba. Okay. Okay, Ba. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, I did forget. Okay. Baba. Grandma. Ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 boy. Ba boy. Okay. Ba. Ba 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 ba. There. Ba 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 ba. So far so good. I think one more and then we can go to the next one, right? Yes. Okay. B. This one is B. B B B B. Okay. There we go. B. B B. B B B. B B B B. And B B B B. B. Okay. B. This will be probably the easier one to recognize. Okay. B ba. B ba. B B B D D D. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Sorry. Do you know that song? Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Beep 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 beepa, something like that. I cannot pronounce the song, but it's from Susei. Hoshimaki Susei. Bibi Biba? Bibi Biba? Something like that? I don't know. But this is BB. No. It's not BB. This is Boo Boo. Okay. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Okay, there we go. Be gone. Be boo. This is probably also one of the easiest ones to recognize. Okay, this is ba. Then we have boo and b. Ba bee boo bee. Boo. Okay. I had to read. Is it the correct one? Yes, it is. Okay. Next is ba. Like bebe. Bebe. Okay. Ba. Bebe. Bebe ba. Bebe ba. Bebe ba. What? Billy. I don't know. Wait. I'm gonna... How can I show this to you? I have to hide my screen probably for a second for showing that. Or... No, I can just deactivate this one. Okay. Wait, I'm gonna show you a fraction of the song. So the song... Oh, not this one. Susei Bibi Deba. Bibi Biba. Bibi Deba. This song, wait. Then where's the chorus? There. I'm gonna get so copyright strike. You know that song? But yeah, this is the song I was talking about. I'm not scared of the copyright. Be gone, I'm gonna burn you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, bear. Bear. Where's bear? Here. Okay, bear. Boo. Bee. Bear. Ba. Okay, where's bear? There. It was directly in front of my nose. And the next one is a bow. Bow. Okay, let's go. Bow. Boop. Oh. Bobo. What is wrong, Bobo? Bobo's binted. Bobo's binted. Bobo. Was cute. What? The song? From Susei. It's a good song. Okay, where's Bo? Bo. I found you, Bo. Where's Bobo? Where did you hide him? Oh. This one is Boo. Bo. And Be. B. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. Matching pairs. Okay. B. Babu. B. Babu. Where's Bo? Here, there's Bo. Okay. Nice. Okay, let's go for the review. We are almost there. We can almost play Bleach. What time is it, by the way? Oh, okay. Maybe we can only play Bleach for like 1 hour. Or, yeah, 1 or 2 hours. Let's see how long we will actually play it. Okay, first one is... quick. Okay, first one is Boo. Right to left, as always. Boo. Ba. Kibe. Okay. Ubo. Bo. Which one was it? Key turned into Gi. But then we have this one, this letter. The small Su was doubling the next letter. So it would be Gibo. Right? Yeah. Okay. Subi. Abi. Nabi. Okay. Ibe. Saber. And Gibe. Okay. We are doing good so far. Bao. Isn't this a VTuber? Okay. Bade. Like taking a bath in German. Babu. Babu. Boogie. Boo. Materials. Boogie is materials? Okay. Buoy. Part. Interesting. Okay. Kabi. Su. No. Was it with the set? Was it this or was it this? I think it was this. Subi. Oh, okay, we are safe. Okay. B. Okay. Ubo. Kabo. Bohe. Okay, we are doing good. Dobe. Benny. Abe. Okay. So far we are really good. Oh. This was meh, right? Meh. Ba. Is it never? Huh? Which one was this letter? Meh. It's not meh. Not meh. I was pretty confident it was meh. Actually, I don't know. I have to reveal it. Nu. Oh, damn it. I was so close. Nuba. God dang it. I messed up. Okay. Then we have... This one is the weird one. G. G bar. Locality. Okay. C bar. Damn it. We messed up at one letter. I cannot believe it. Okay, let's go again. Let's fill out the missing pieces. Kaba. No ba. 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 Oh, damn. Okay. Subashikoi. Subashikoi. Nimble. Uoichi. Ba. Fish market. Okay. Kono bai. In this case. Ooh. We will need this one a lot. Okay. Go Seibutsu. Compound. Kuza Ukai. Guasi. Okay. Yeah. Abunai. Dangerous. I know this word from anime. Setobiki. Enameling. Shinobidashi. Sneaking out. Oh. Akobidasu. To carry out. Okay, this was the weird one. Jiki. Desperation. What is this word? Okay. Okay, this one is... Nah. Yeah. No? Yes? Negi... Bo... Su. Okay. Only in the head. What? Why would we put this word in here? Damn. Okay. Sanebo. Oversleeping. Besekai. Another word. Oh wait. Is Kai word? Sekai is word. But the Kai is the word? What is Se? Like Isekai is another word. And Basekai is... what was it again? So the Kai is the word. And what is the other part? What is Se? What is the Se in Sekai? Now I wonder. Okay, let's go for the writing test. Bubo. Oh damn, okay. They're hitting me with this. Tata Kitsu Usu. Konobai. Sakebigo e. Hakobidatsu. Kebu. Habo. Like the game? Wasn't there a game like this? Kuber. Abi. Debi. Kaba. Boka. Hiki. Kobeko. Soku. BK. Oh my goodness. No. Na. Su. Bochi. Debo. Ba. Bichi. No. Yes. Barbie. Bo. Oh, we made it! We made it! Oh. I'm leaving now. I'm sleepy. Have a nice night, and I hope you have a good time with stream. See you next time. Okay. Bye bye, Alice. Have a good night. We are actually about to end this specific stream in YouTube because we will go for Bleach now. I will schedule another stream because I really wanna play the game. And we're gonna. Or should I do it now? I don't know. You know what? Let's do. I don't know. I don't know if I should play Bleach now. I wanna capture the first moments when I get into the game. So yeah, I'm gonna schedule another stream. Let's go in here. Let's go over here for now. Just yapping, I will call it on Twitch. And then just chatting. Okay. But on YouTube, what I'm gonna do now, basically, is I'm gonna set up another stream where we're gonna play some Bleach. Which title did we had? We got Osampa Kuto. That's how I called it. So that's how we will call it now as well. Where is YouTube Studio? I'm gonna schedule it so I can spam it into chat. And YouTube. Create, go live. So it's already there. Schedule. Let's just take this stream. It's finally here. Let's go. Okay. Then the hashtags. Bleach. Rebirth of Souls. Okay. Hashtag is there. Gaming. Game. Bleach. Thumbnail. Where are my thumbnails? Yeah, we're gonna take this one. Okay. Restrictions. No. It's not paid. No. Okay, live stream. Public. And it's Friday. It's literally. I will put it in 10 minutes. Wait. In 10 minutes. But I'm gonna start there in about 5 minutes. Can I change the time? I can't change it. Okay. Because I need this stream to end. And then I can go into the next one. On Twitch, it's gonna continue probably. There won't be any disruption. So... Oh, I gave it the wrong title. I'm stupid. Wait a minute. We got Osampakuto. Okay, let me save that. Then I go to the channel. And it's there already. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to this stream. I'm gonna spam you the link. This one will be the link. So you can wait there for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. And then I will be there. I will be there. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna talk to the Twitch chat. Okay, I will see you all in a minute. Also Ryu, in case you don't want to watch Bleach.